taking classes online or on campus. Enjoy lifetime job placement support and IT certifications in high demand. Go to mycomputercareer.edu today and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Conditions apply to AI offer and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
It's time to cut your old point-of-sale system and revolutionize your business with PDQ POS. Joe Flynn and his team at PDQ have been the industry leader for over 35 years. They offer everything from mobile POS to self-service kiosks and the best service and support in the industry. For the fastest, easiest, and most reliable POS available, trust PDQ POS. No matter how many locations you have, they'll build a custom solution for your business. Visit pdqpos.com.
Tired of looking at your ugly old slippery bathtub? You don't have to any longer. Call PJ Fitzpatrick. The jacuzzi shower system from PJ Fitzpatrick features a low entry threshold with tons of design options. The jacuzzi shower is luxurious, affordable, and it installs in just 1 day. Plus, PJ will include a free shower seat and safety bars for all customers this month. Visit trustpj.com today for your free design consultation. That's trustpj.com.
According to the email, Trump is listed as a passenger on at least 8 flights between 1993 and 1996.
By law, the Justice Department was supposed to release all files related to Epstein by last Friday. The Supreme Court will not allow President Trump to deploy Illinois National Guard troops to the Chicago area.
The High Court declined to lift a lower court's order blocking the federalized troops and held that the administration had not shown it was authorized to federalize the Guard, which is only allowed when the president is unable with regular forces to execute the laws of the United States. Justices Samuel Alito, Clarence Thomas, and Neil Gorsuch dissented. Nicole Skenga, CBS News, Washington.
And an update on our top story. The Pennsylvania governor has said that at least 2 people have died in a nursing home explosion in Bristol, Pennsylvania. Former Republican Senator Ben Sasse says he has terminal stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at Progressive.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Here's a tale of Linda trying to lose weight, but the med prices she found were all over the place.
Hidden fees and markups made her jaw drop low. Then she found GoodRx. Now she's in the know.
GLP-1 subscriptions FDA approved.
With clear upfront pricing.
And same-day pickup.
That's GoodRx, the no-nonsense way. Save time and money on prescriptions.
Get to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
A big pop star makes a very charitable donation. CBS's Stacey Lynn reports.
Christmas must be something more. Taylor Swift is helping spread some Christmas joy and just donated $1 million to Feeding America. What if angels did not pay? The nonprofit works with food banks and local meal programs across the country. In a post on Instagram, the charity said, quote, "Her generosity reminds us what's possible when we come together to help ensure full tables this holiday season and beyond." Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Wall Street closes at another record following a surprisingly strong report on economic growth over the summer. The S&P 500 beats the high it set earlier this month. More gains for big tech stocks drove the index higher, even as most stocks in the index fell. Novo Nordisk jumped after U.S. regulators approved a pill version of the weight loss drug Wegovy. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
So Pure Talk just had their best year ever and asked me if I'd like to thank their customers on their behalf for being so awesome. I said sure. It's important to say thanks, especially this time of year, which is why, as one of their many satisfied customers, I should probably thank Pure Talk first for keeping their customer service in this country and for providing hundreds of American jobs. I appreciate that. I also appreciate their Roundup program, which makes it easy to support America's Warrior Partnership and join the fight against veteran suicide. And I love that Pure Talk donated 1,000 hand-sewn Made in America flags to veterans around Independence Day. And of course, I really appreciate their generous support of my own foundation, MicroWorks, and their commitment to help us train the next generation of skilled workers. Having said all that, it's now my pleasure, on behalf of everyone at Pure Talk, to thank you sincerely for choosing to do business with an American wireless company that actually stands for something. And one more thing. Merry Christmas.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Linda Kerns on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And good evening. This is the Jimmy Fallon Show, and this is Linda Kerns sitting in for Jimmy on 1210 WPHT. I have Justin O'Terry here. Hi, Justin. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Linda. Now you're stuck with me for 3 hours.
I know. How about that? Well, Merry Christmas. Are you all ready for Christmas?
I'm not going to lie. I still have a little bit more shopping left to do tomorrow, but...
Yeah. I think that's like most guys.
Only a little bit, though. Only a little bit. But we'll get there.
Well, I want to say hi to the audience. Thank you for listening while I sit in for Jimmy Fallon. And we have a great show in store for you. I was able to book lots of guests, even though this is the Christmas holiday. We are on the Odyssey app and iHeartRadio, as well as on your radio at 1210 WPHT. And in addition to Merry Christmas, I want to say Happy Hanukkah. I think that just ended. And Happy Festivus, right? Isn't today Festivus?
Today, yeah, I think we talked about that because you were on with us on Mike Opelka's show a little bit ago.
Yeah. Sometimes, though, when I say things, I wonder if I'm giving away my age. Because I was with my nieces and nephews earlier, and they're in college age. And I said, I think today's Festivus. And they said, well, what's that? So maybe this younger generation isn't actually watching Seinfeld and knows that today's the day you're supposed to air all your grievances. What do you think, Justin?
Surprisingly, this year I don't have that many grievances, but
Really?
I know you do.
Well, yes, okay. I tend to hold grudges, and I am an election lawyer in well, I know we won in 24, but we struggle. We're like a blue state, sometimes purple. A Republican female living in Philadelphia, so I don't always feel very welcome. So, sure. And I have a law practice where I'm a divorce lawyer. So, yeah, lots of times people
You were ticking all the boxes for
I know.
prime grudge holder.
So, sure. I do have grievances. But we have a bunch of good guests tonight. I was so excited, and I want to say special thanks to Dan Borowski for helping me book the guests, even though he's off with his beloved wife and new baby, getting ready for his first Christmas with her, the baby, not the wife. He helped me book just a ton of very interesting guests. After we break, we're going to come back with Dr. Elmo, who wrote Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. And I've heard that song my whole life. I just never thought I'd be interviewing the guy who wrote it. So that's kind of exciting. And a little later on, we have my very good friend, Kevin Siegel. He is an attorney. He's going to talk about what it means when you hire an attorney. When do you need an attorney? Kind of just practical type advice. We're also going to hear from Dr. Monique Yohannan. She's a senior fellow for the Health Policy for Independent Women Institute, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about what everyone's talking about nowadays: health, vaccines, the opioid crisis, that type of thing. And we have E.J. Antoni from the Heritage Foundation, and the Heritage Foundation was in the news. Did you see what happened, Justin?
I think that's another reason why I was surprised we were able to get EJ, because, Heritage has been going through it for the last 24 hours.
Yeah, pretty much a mass exodus. One of my good friends, Hans von Spakowski, he's in their election group. He also is one of the ones that left, but he texted me last night because I had booked him. I'm going to sit in for Dawn Stensland on Friday, and I had already booked him, and he said, "Yep, I'm still coming on." So maybe between EJ and Hans, we'll find out the backstory on what happened there.
I don't want to break any news, but do you know if Hans is going to Mike Pence's think tank like a bunch of other people are?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't ask Hans. He just wanted to make sure that, I was still having him on. I didn't ask him specifically, but it did look like the whole election integrity group and people I've worked with at Heritage are going to that other group.
Yeah, because they switched Edward Meese switched the name to now what I can't remember for the life of me what Pence's think tank is called, but I know that their election center is now the Edward E. Meese III.
Right. And look, people need to do what they need to do, and I completely understand if it wasn't working for them at Heritage anymore, or they didn't think that Heritage was following their vision, or they didn't have the same vision as Heritage. But I do know that as conservatives, as Republicans, we have some really important elections coming up, and I hope that we can all pretty much come together to at least vote our people in office, because pretty much any day I would usually rather have a Republican in office than anybody else. So I hope they get it together. Speaking of Republicans, a little later in the show, I have on Lauren Casper, who was one of my deputies in the 24 campaign. I know that sometimes people say, my gosh, you're still talking about 24, but I represented President Trump and the Republican National Committee here in Pennsylvania in 24. It was a big year. But I was pretty much one of the only people who worked on the campaign from a local person who was permitted to do radio, TV, interviews, and so forth, because we kind of keep a tight lid on all the other workers, which probably isn't a bad idea, because I think the last thing you need is a lot of people giving out their opinions to the media. But I worked with so many people who work so hard, and I want to kind of give them recognition now. And I'm going to talk to Lauren about that. She is a Republican campaign consultant, and she really helped in all over the state, especially in Philadelphia, where every election day we have to face the daunting tasks of finding poll watchers for 1,700 polling places. Some of those in neighborhoods in Philly where it's not that easy to recruit somebody and convince them that, hey, you got to sit here all day and take whatever happens. So that's pretty much the guests that we have lined up for tonight. So I am pretty excited about it. And I brought a present for Justin tonight. Do you want to tell everyone what I brought, Justin?
You actually handmade up a big plate of cookies, and I won't say forever in your debt, but I am eternally grateful that you are giving me dinner tonight, because I have not eaten all day, and this is my food.
Okay, well, if there are any left over, and that's a pretty big carton of cookies.
I don't think I'm going to be able to finish all of them.
Okay, because I want to leave them for the other producers too, because I just cannot thank everyone enough of helping me just book guests, figure out things here on the radio, get me ready to co-host and just sit here and talk about things that I hope interest the audience. And I do want to mention that we have some really upsetting local news. You heard it if you were listening to the news at the top of the hour. We had a nursing home explosion here in Bucks County. I think they're still trying to sort it out. It sounds like people have died. So that is just it's horrible for that to happen at any time, especially horrible this time of year. So we want to keep those people in our prayers. And then another shooting happened this time in Delaware at the DMV. I can't even imagine that someone had to take their last breath at a DMV. I think that's just terrible, horrible. And one of our first responders, a state trooper, unfortunately lost his life today. So his family is going to be facing the Christmas season without him. So that is really some bad news here from the local Philadelphia area. I hope that that's the end of the bad news that we have here. I just try to remind myself every day is a gift, and to just open the gift of every day, because you just don't know how much time you have left. So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have Dr. Elmo coming on to talk about Grandma getting run over by a reindeer, and I have some questions about the lyrics to that song. We'll be right back.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. Each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Tickets to Joe Conklin shows make great holiday gifts.
I loved it. I'm a big sports fan. I'm glad I came.
I couldn't imagine how good it would be with the orchestra.
All his voices are fabulous.
My dad set this up. This was actually a Christmas gift to us to bring us all together, come see Joe and relive all the Philadelphia history. It's amazing.
See the story of Philly sports put to music with Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at the Broadway Theater in Pitman, New Jersey, February 21st. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Oh. Hey, Dawn Stensland here. The Piazza Auto Group really wants to thank you, our listeners, their customers, for supporting the 7th annual Piazza Auto Group Toy Drive, benefiting the Salvation Army. Your generous donations truly help bring joy to children across the Philadelphia area. And when you're in the market for a vehicle, make the Piazza Auto Group your automotive destination with more than 5,000 new certified pre-owned and used vehicles available at any time. Browse inventory. Find a dealership near you. PiazzaAutogroup.com. Happy holidays.
For more expert appliance shopping advice, here's National Appliance Warehouse's own appliance guru.
Hello, let's talk premium. These are top-of-the-line appliances that dream kitchens are made of. If you're planning an investment like this in your home, where you buy is as important as what you buy. At National Appliance Warehouse, we're committed to delivering the superior buying experience you deserve. Our showroom features beautifully displayed premium appliances of every major brand, including highly sought-after monogram appliances. Our team of gurus is well-versed at guiding you as you navigate the same appliances you'd find in most magnificent homes and the kitchens of cooking enthusiasts. And the National Appliance Warehouse team has the expertise to properly deliver and install your stunning new appliances.
'Tis the season of savings at National Appliance Warehouse. Elevate everything and save on monogram appliances, featuring sophisticated luxury and understated durability. You'll love expertly engineered and purposely designed monogram appliances. Click nationalappliancewarehouse.com or visit their showroom in tax-free Wilmington today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Now you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
Well, if we're playing that song, it must be Christmas time, right, Justin?
It's only less than 2 days away.
Well, here we are in 1210 WPHT. If you want to call in, you can get us at 855-839-1210. This is Linda Kerns sitting in for Jimmy Fallon. And our next guest is the writer of that song, Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. I am thrilled to be able to talk to him. I never thought I'd be able to talk to the guy who wrote the song. So I'd like to introduce Dr. Elmo to here and welcome him to Philadelphia on 1210 WPHT.
Well, hello, Linda.
Hi. It is so great to have you on, and this must be your busy season, so thank you for making time.
Well, thank you for calling. It was great to be on with you.
Well, I have a couple questions for you. First of all, you went to University of Florida. Are you a Gators fan still? Are you following their
major Gators fan, and even though I live in California, I still go back to Gator games.
Well, are you following their football team this season? What do you think?
Well, I hope they get better.
Well, I guess once a Gator, always a Gator, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Kind of a diehard, but and hopefully they just got a new coach, so hopefully things are going to change for the better.
Yeah, right.
They can only go up from here.
Yeah, well, that's a great way to look at it. It's funny I'm talking to you today because I had to take my own dogs to the vet today. So you're a vet, so it's all a big coincidence. I see that you were a veterinarian at the horse tracks before you opened a small animal hospital.
That's right. Belmont Park, Aqueduct, and Saratoga in New York.
How do you go from working on large animals to opening your own small animal hospital?
Well, I was always around horses and was an exercise boy, and so I wanted to be on the racetrack for a while, but I took a vacation to California, and I loved it so much I thought I'd just stay there. And they didn't have that many horses, so I had to start working on small animals.
Okay. And then you record this song about. Tell us how this came about. This awesome song that I hear every year and I think is hysterical.
Well, actually, it was written by a friend of mine, and he sang it to me, and he didn't have any interest in recording it, and so I recorded it as a gag gift, and I thought I'd make 500 copies and give a few out to my friends for Christmas, and it would be funny. I wasn't in the music business at all, but one of my friends took it to a disc jockey in San Francisco, and he started playing it, and everyone called in and said, "We hate that song. Don't ever play it again." And so he knew people were listening then anyway. So a lot of people started calling and requesting it just out of curiosity, and it sort of grew from there.
So when you recorded it, did you change any of the lyrics, or did you just keep them as they were?
We changed a few things around. We added the "Send Them Back" and a few other little things, like "Merry Christmas" at the end.
Well,
otherwise,
I was a little concerned because if you really listen to the song, Grandma got tipsy. They let her walk home by herself, and no one found her till the next day. And Grandpa comes across as all concerned, but why was he not wondering where she was all night?
That's a good question. Well, I guess he was a little tipsy too. So, and of course, Grandma needed to sleep. Grandpa.
Well, it is an amazing song, and you go around and do you still play this like for charity, for hospitals, in places around Christmas?
Absolutely. We're on a tour right now with a Holiday Express, and we're in the Northeast around New Jersey and New York. And so every day we go with a band and some trucks, and we set up and we play for hospitals for children with disabilities, and also at soup kitchens and homeless shelters. On Christmas Eve, I guess that's tomorrow, we're playing at St. John's Homeless Shelter in Newark.
Wow. Well, again, thank you for making time when you're doing all this touring. And my notes here say that you are 89 years young.
I am.
Wow.
Yeah. Thank you for adding the young to that. That gives it a little bit better flavor.
And are you still running? Because
I am.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when do you have time to run?
Well, it's a little chilly to run here, although I did run yesterday. But when we're on this tour, it's pretty, it takes a lot of my energy. We usually do maybe 2 or 3 shows a day and sometimes 1 or 2 shows at night. So I haven't run much while we're here, but when January rolls around, I'll get to run a lot.
And
I turn back into a pumpkin.
And in these shows, do you play songs other than the Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer song?
Oh, yeah. We play the Mariah Carey song and I think there's a new number one song that's been out for years. Last Christmas, we play that song. I love playing all the other songs. In fact, I enjoy playing them more than my own song.
But I bet everyone recognizes your song. Does everybody sing along?
It's a wonderful thing when I sing it, everyone always says, "Wow, you sound just like the guy."
And what do you say to that?
I said, "Thank you." Even though I never thought I was that great of a singer.
Do you tell everyone that you're the guy who recorded it?
Yeah, I think a lot of times now they know.
I bet.
You
And are you still doing anything with animals?
When I'm home, when I have friends who have animals in distress, I don't have an animal hospital anymore, and I'm not actively involved. But if I have a friend who has a sick animal, I go and take care of them.
Just to keep your hand in it.
Yeah, sure.
I can't imagine there's many people who have a hit Christmas song and also a successful veterinary practice. So would you say you're one of a kind?
Well, I'd like to think that. Thank you very much.
And in the beginning, people got fired for playing the song, right?
Yeah, there was a disc jockey in Davenport, Iowa, named Jack Daniels, and he played it 27 times in a row. He said everyone around there seemed to be depressed. The crops weren't that good, and so he thought that would cheer him up. But he got fired, but I think he got reinstated when it made worldwide headlines.
Yeah, because, I mean, the subject matter, when you think about it, Grandma getting run over, but just, I guess, the way that you sing it, and it just sounds so quirky, it just makes you smile. Is that how it sounded when the guy first played it for you?
His name is Randy Brooks. He's a wonderfully funny guy, and our versions are very different. However, we have sung it together many times where we traded off on the verses.
And he's adopted your style to make it all quirky and funny.
Yeah, well, he still has kind of his own style, so when we sing it together, it's quite fun.
So other than Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, have you recorded any other original songs like this?
Yes, we recorded quite a few. I had a song called Grandma's Killer Fruit Cake, and Santa's Email from Nigeria, and I probably recorded maybe 50 other Christmas songs, but none of them hit like this one did.
Yeah, I guess I guess you never know what's gonna hit.
Yeah.
When you were first recording this, did you feel like you had something that people would really enjoy?
Not at all. I just did it just because I thought it would be fun to record it. And at the time, I wasn't recording hardly anything at all. I was a banjo player, and I made a couple of bluegrass banjo recordings, but that was it. I didn't want to sing.
You didn't want to sing?
Didn't want to sing. I didn't think I could sing. And when I first heard it on the radio, that confirmed that. My first thought is when I heard it on the radio, I thought, I'm a terrible singer. But most of the radio stations really liked that early version.
Yeah, and I think sometimes it's hard to hear your own voice on the radio because it always sounds different coming out of your head. Have you ever just been driving or in a store and all of a sudden your song came on?
You know, that has happened. Not nearly enough, but when it does happen, it's wonderful to be in a mall and be with friends or something and have that song come on. It is the greatest feeling, even after like 45 years. It happened the other day in a grocery store, and we all went crazy.
I bet. Did you go around and give out autographs and offer to have your picture taken with everybody?
Yeah, I started singing along with it, and suddenly everybody realized, yeah, he's the guy.
Well, it sounds like Santa brings you a special present every year, which is that this song is still alive and just bringing so much joy to everyone, right?
It's really been a wonderful thing, really life-changing thing, and made my Christmases like more wonderful than I ever thought they could be.
Well, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. I want to thank you for this song. And on behalf of all of these people you were visiting, I just want to thank you. That is a really amazing thing you do this time of year. So I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and that all of your dreams come true.
Thank you so much, Linda. You're so sweet. What a nice message.
Thank
Really
you. Thank you for calling in, Dr. Elmo. And we will be right back. We're going to take a break, and we will be back with our next guest.
Experience casino like never before at Bet365. Spin your way through your favorite games. Check out our awesome table games and face off against a real live dealer. And play exclusive games that you simply can't play anywhere else. New Bet365 players get a 100% deposit match bonus up to $1,000 plus spins. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply.
Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Listen, I know sometimes you worry about coming to see me because you don't want to invest in real estate, because you don't want to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants. I'm going to teach you a way that you don't have to deal with toilets, trash, or tenants, or even own any real estate and invest in real estate at the same time. You want to learn this, so go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday, and I promise you, no toilets, no trash, no tenants.
Politics, the stock market, the Fed. How do you protect your 401k? Tune in to the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen. Saturdays at 6 a.m. and 3 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Great news from Norristown Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. Sign and Drive is back. No down payment needed. Save it for presents. Your present should be a new Jeep Wrangler Sport S for only $299 a month. $299. Sign and Drive. NorristownCDJR.com. Just minutes from the King of Prussia Mall. Check out our online reviews. They're great. No fast talk here. 36 months, 7,500 miles per year includes loyalty while supplies last. Zero do-it signing. $477 doc fee, tax and license additional. Ends 1/2/26.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Imagine actually feeling merry, bright, and genuinely healthy this holiday season. With Rescue, that feeling starts now. Going on today, the Deck the Hall sale lets you save up to 78% off on high-quality, research-backed natural supplements so you can feel your best. Enjoy every festive moment. Formulas are crafted with purity, potency, and real science behind every capsule. That's why customers rely on Rescue for their essentials. Powerful omega-3s, doctor-recommended cholesterol support, gentle but effective pain relief, advanced probiotic blends, and natural age-defying formulas that help you stay vibrant from the inside out. This season, give yourself the gift of feeling good. Stock up, save big, and step into the holidays with the confidence that comes from supplements made with integrity and backed by decades of results. Ordering is easy. Just go to res-q.com or call a Rescue product consultant 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483, online at res-q.com for up to 78% off this holiday season.
Download to see if you qualify for Albert Instant Advance. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription is required for Instant Advance. Please see the Albert app or albert.com for subscription pricing. Subscriptions can be canceled at any time.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? You can get up to a $1,000 advance fast to pay for car repairs, bills, rent, groceries, whatever you need. Plus, Albert can help you find ways to save and give you a custom budget to actually grow your money.
Albert can get me up to $1,000?
Exactly. But they do more than get you up to $1,000. Albert is your financial assistant, helping you budget, save, and spotting you money in a pinch.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code SAVE to get up to $1,000 for your bills, rent, groceries, and more. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code SAVE to get up to $1,000. Use code SAVE to get up to $1,000.
B101 is spreading holiday cheer throughout Philly. Tune in for the soundtrack to your Christmas season, featuring all the holiday songs you love. Christmas music all day, every day, only on B101, Philly's official Christmas station.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Well, if that's Elvis on WPHT, that must be because Linda Kerns is here sitting in for Jimmy Fallon. Hi to everybody in Philly and everywhere you are if you're listening to 1210 WPHT, either on the radio, the Odyssey app, iHeartRadio. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to get in touch with us, you can call us at 855-839-1210. I am here with the producer extraordinaire, Justin O'Terry. Hi, Justin.
One of these times you're going to get my last name right.
Oh my gosh, am I pronouncing it wrong?
Otero.
Otero. Oh,
not O'Terry.
Because I wrote it down with an I at the end. I misspelled it on my sheet.
No I in my last name.
Well, how embarrassing.
I do appreciate the kind words, though.
But couldn't that have been something you told me off the air?
I gotta have a little bit of fun.
That's true.
After all the times I've been threatened with litigation on air,
true.
I deserve my fun.
Speaking of which, I have my friend Kevin Siegel on later. He's a lawyer. Maybe he can help you since I'm constantly threatening to sue you.
Lord knows I need it.
Well, it's Christmas time, so I wonder what Santa's doing now. The big guy's probably getting ready, packing up the sleigh. I think sometimes the Christmas can be and going into the new year, sometimes a tough time of year. You reflect back and you think what things could have gone better, or you look at other people and you kind of judge yourself by what everyone else is doing, and then sometimes you don't feel so great about it. And the other day I was out to lunch with actually somebody that I think the audience knows, my client G Love. He's a singer. He's originally from Philadelphia. He was in town and he took me to lunch, and one of our other friends was there, and he told us about this parable, this Chinese parable that I thought was really interesting for this time of year. And it's about this Chinese farmer whose horse ran away, and all of his neighbors came over when this horse ran away, and they said, "We're so sorry to hear that your horse ran away. It was his only horse. That is just so unfortunate." And the Chinese farmer just said, maybe it's unfortunate. And the next day the horse came back, and he brought 7 wild horses with him. So all of a sudden the neighbor said, "Oh, you're so lucky. Your horse came back. Now you have 7 horses. Isn't that great? You're doing so great." And the farmer just said, maybe it's good. But the next day, when his son went out there trying to work with the horses, he rode the horse and he was thrown off the horse and broke his leg. So again, the neighbors came around and said, "Oh no, that's too bad." And the farmer just responded, "Well, maybe it's bad, maybe not." Because the next day, the army officers came around to conscript people into the army, and because his son had a broken leg, they couldn't bring him into the army. And the neighbors came around and said, "Wow, that's great. And the farmer said, "Maybe." And I think that this whole story just reminds you that you may have something that seems really, really great, but something else is around the corner. You may have something not going so well, but then it turns into something really good. You just never know what the consequence of misfortune will be, and you just never know the consequence of good fortune. And I think that you just have to remember that every day is a gift. We unfortunately don't know how long we're going to be here, and I think you just have to kind of remember that. And I thought about that a lot when Ben Sass made his announcement today. Did you hear? We talked about that a little bit, Justin, what happened with Ben Sass. I mean, he announced today that he has pancreatic cancer. He's a relatively young man. I think he's in his 40s, maybe
53. I believe I saw.
And you just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how much time you have left on the shelf. And the way that he made his announcement, he put it out on Twitter, and he talked about the good things that had come into his life this year. He said he's gotten closer with his family and his wife, and that he's reminded that he has these really, really great friends and a really great family around him. And maybe he will not be here to see his children grow older as he had always hoped, but maybe he will. You just don't know. And I think that at this time of year, it's really important not to just look around and measure yourself against everybody else, or think that, hey, that person's doing better, or they're having a better holiday than me, or their Christmas is better, or mine is too stressful. I think you just kind of got to take what comes and hope somebody like Linda comes into the studio and brings you cookies. Right, Jason? Or Justin? Oh my gosh, I just called you Jason. So I not only mispronounced your name, now I called you the wrong name. How bad am I doing?
I mean, besides those two little missteps, I'd say you're doing pretty good.
Maybe I'll just get a piece of paper here and just write your name.
I'll just get a sticky note. I'll put it on my forehead. It'll just say my name, Justin Otero.
Thank you.
Just so you can see
Justin it. in the Flyers hat. Are you giving up on the Eagles? Why do you have the Flyers hat on? Oh, he has the Eagles jacket on. Okay. Are you a Flyers fan too?
Philly 5 for 5. Come on now.
Okay. Wait, what are the 5? It's the Sixers?
Sixers, Flyers, Philly, and Sixers, Flyers, Phillies, Eagles, and technically, some people don't count them, the Union, but I do.
What do they play?
They're soccer. They're the MLS. Some people say they're Chester because they're on the other side of the
right.
Whatever bridge that is. I can't remember half the bridges in this place, but some people say they're Chester, not Philly, but I count them as Philly.
Well, what do you think about the Eagles? I mean, honestly, Justin, because when I was watching this weekend, I was actually thinking of you, because I was like, if these guys don't win this game, poor Justin. And I feel bad for all the fans who, I mean, I'm obviously a fan, but then there are these people whose their entire mood depends on how the Eagles are doing.
My entire weekend mood depends on if Jalen Hurts can throw a 10-yard pass, or if Saquon can make more than a 2-yard run.
Well, what do you think? I mean, do you think we're going to go all the way? Or do you not want to say?
I got to see what happens against Buffalo on Sunday before I make any decisions.
You're just kind of going to hedge your bets there.
Every prediction I've made on this station has blown up in my face.
Okay.
So I'm going to hedge my bets this time.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, why don't we say go Birds, and we're going to take a commercial break and be right back with our next guest. Thank you for listening.
When equipment breaks down and operations come to a halt, every single second counts. So why is your maintenance team spending 60% of their time doing anything but turning wrenches? MaintainX is the AI-powered maintenance and asset management system that helps your team get back to actually fixing breakdowns. No more searching for manuals. No more hunting down parts. No more drowning in paperwork. With MaintainX, your team can access manuals from anywhere, create new procedures in minutes, and turn voice notes into clear and complete work order feedback. What used to take hours now only takes minutes. Keep your operations moving, not your paperwork. Join over 11,000 maintenance teams that are already fixing more and filing less. Try MaintainX for free today. Go to maintainx.com/AI. That's maintain and the letter x.com/AI.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
This season, Bucks County Estate Traders wants to say thank you for welcoming them into your homes and letting their one-of-a-kind pieces become part of your year. From timeless dining sets to the perfect accent piece, they're proud to help turn a house into a home. Discover the distinctive piece that completes any room and makes your home feel just right. Enjoy a comfortable shopping experience while exploring their showroom featuring over 16,000 pieces. Visit their Hatfield showroom, visit BucksCountyEstateTraders.com, open 7 days a week.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-941-2255. That's 800-941-2255.
You can now tune in to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
And welcome back to the Jimmy Fallon Show. This is Linda Kerns sitting in for Jimmy Fallon. Merry Christmas week to everybody listening. If you want to call in, you can get us at 855-839-1210. Hear us on the Odyssey app, iHeartRadio, or on good old terrestrial radio in your car or in your radio in your house. Next guest I'd like to introduce, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name right because I already pronounced my producer's name wrong twice since I've been on the air, is Dr. Monique Yohannan. She's a senior fellow for health policy for the Independent Women's Institute. And Justin, do we have Dr. Yohannan?
I'm on the line.
Hi, and please, this is Linda. Please tell me that I pronounced your name correctly.
Linda, nobody gets it right, but you got it perfect.
Oh, see?
So thank you so much.
All right, because, I pronounced my producer's name wrong, and he corrected me on air. So, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, I'm so pleased that you asked me.
And I want to hear what you're working on now, but I know that you talk a lot and you work a lot and research a lot about healthcare challenges such as pain management, the opioid crisis, and the mental health crisis. And I want to ask you first, just because that the whole situation with Rob Reiner's child, it's so much in the news and it's so tragic. And that man was clearly suffering from serious mental health issues. Have you been asked to I mean, I know you didn't know them or anything, but have you been asked to talk about that or comment on that?
I haven't, but you're right. It is a really tragic disease. And I think that there was so much in the opioid crisis that I think we know now, we probably should have known then, was avoidable. And, my heart goes out to the rest of the family. It's an awful situation. I think more recently, I certainly have done a lot of writing and work in the past on opioid addiction as well as mental health issues in the past. More recently, I've been doing a lot of work and writing around health transparency and looking at prices. And I think the other place that I've been doing a lot of writing on lately is also on vaccines. But of course, I'm ready and happy to talk about any healthcare issues that you'd like to speak about.
Right. No, I definitely want to ask you about vaccines because you just hear it all the time. And like a lot of things in our society, I feel like people are either like at A or Z, and no one can just be kind of in the middle on something. You're either no vaccines or yes, get all the vaccines. And at this point, in this year, this time, is there a set of vaccines that are really they're recommended for children and children should get and they're pretty safe? Is there conventional thinking on that?
Well, I'll tell you, you're talking to the person who's in the middle on this, so I'll give you my point of view, which is When we look at vaccines in the United States, I start from the place vaccines are safe at the population level. Vaccines work at the population level. But we probably give too many in the U.S. We probably give them too early. And I think that as a few guiding principles when I think about vaccines, I think if a disease is really common in childhood, so think measles or whooping cough like pertussis, that's a good reason to give a vaccine. As an example of a disease a lot less common for the universal schedule would be hepatitis B. It's just a really uncommon disease in childhood in the U.S. Then I think, is the disease really serious in childhood? So again, measles and pertussis can be really serious, but a disease like hepatitis A, not so much. And then the final thing is, does my child getting this shot protect other people? And again, measles and pertussis, they do. But there are other vaccines, lots of other vaccines in the schedule that really are about individual protection and not so much about protecting the community. So to me, when I think about it, it's, is it common? Is it serious? And does my child getting this shot protect other kids? And if it's not those three, I say that this really is a parental decision. And I would encourage parents to do their own research and think about what works for their child and their family.
Well, what are they teaching these doctors in medical school? Because you hear that a lot. Let's just rely on our doctors. But are the doctors being taught this so that they can give accurate information to their patients?
I think doctors are being taught, do everything, do it as early as possible, and don't question it. And they really talk a lot about shared decision making, but I don't think they really encourage that. I think that one thing that all of us as doctors, but as people, we should remember and maybe have some humility about a lot of the things that happened during COVID, that we had a lot of people with great authority saying if you did anything different, you were not doing your part in the community. I think that unfortunately the medical community just hasn't had the right level of humility about this. So again, it's not that I don't think vaccines work, but I do think we give probably too many of them too young. And I think that, to me, it distracts focus from the vaccines that are most important. I do think it's really important kids get a measles vaccine. And if you want as an individual, I think this year's flu vaccine is a pretty good vaccine, but that's different than the measles vaccine. The flu vaccine protects your individual child. The measles vaccine protects the community. And to the extent that we're going to have something in the schedule or keep kids out of school, I think we should really focus on the vaccines that are, again, that common, serious, and community protection. Most of the rest of the world has that point of view. We really are much more aggressive than the rest of the world.
You know, I've been noticing I'm getting these text messages from the pharmacies, from just like the regular stores. Get this vaccine. Come in and get your flu shot. Come in and get your COVID vaccine. Are they calling the COVID? Are they still calling that a vaccine? Because I don't think it really prevented anything. But
well, I think you're probably pretty right about that, actually.
Yeah, I always wondered why they called that a vaccine. But as a consumer, I'm getting these text messages. If I'm not ready to really think critically about it, maybe people just run in and get these without thinking about it. And is that really the best way to have health policy in the United States?
Well, Linda, I do want to mention something you just alluded to. When you said, I was really wondering if it was a vaccine, in the Biden administration, they changed the definition of what a vaccine was. They just said, if it activates the immune system, it's a vaccine. And before that, it used to be, does it prevent or treat or help you with a disease? And they just said any nonspecific inflammation of your immune system, that's good enough to call it a vaccine. And we wonder why, your point of view is actually very well aligned with this. I think part of why they're sending all these text messages out is they have a lot fewer people who are getting shots. And they are doing these ads. They are trying to get people to get vaccinated, I think because they've lost a lot of trust. And nobody, frankly, has still said, I'm sorry, we messed up. We want to rebuild your trust. And I just think, when I think about what Secretary Kennedy is doing, and really the emphasis of MAHA is let's be transparent. With MAHA, let's know what's in our food, know what's in the vaccines that our kids are getting. Let's actually have real information up front. I think the age at which we could say that the medical community can just say, do this, and we're just going to do it without questions, that time has passed. And I sure wish my colleagues in the medical community would understand that and just have a little more humility about it.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with everything that Secretary Kennedy says. And by the way, my background is I'm an attorney, and I actually represented President Trump in the election here in Pennsylvania in 2020 and 2024. So I worked very hard to get President Trump elected. And I always say that when you elect a president, you're also electing all the cabinet. You know, that's who else you're voting for, because you're voting for the guy who's going to appoint all those people. But while I don't necessarily agree with everything Senator Kennedy says, I do so much appreciate that nothing is off the table. It sounds like he's willing to study things and let's investigate things. Whereas I feel like with the last administration, it was more of a just no, this is what you're going to do, and you're not going to ask questions.
You know, Linda, I think my mom is maybe the only person I mostly agree with everything on. Short of that, honestly, there's nobody in the world I really agree with everything on. But I will say that to me, the biggest thing that I really think that Secretary Kennedy represents, there are a lot of parents who didn't feel heard. And there are a lot of parents who didn't feel listened to, who felt disrespected and talked down. And when you think about vaccines, that there have been parents with real concerns, and they have just been dismissed categorically. And to have the openness to say, you know, we should look into this. I've talked to so many parents. You know, I wrote a paper on vaccines that was published in August of this year. Among the people I had peer review it were parents who had vaccine injury. And to a person, these were people who had so much knowledge and so much interest and really just wanted to get the messages out there. I just think that, you know, as we look at this, we just need to, I think, really consider that the idea where we could gatekeep authority, where we could gatekeep information, that's just gone. So that's really where I come, is that I want to make sure that people understand, to your point, when people say it's either you're for everything or against everything, I don't think that gets us anywhere. I do think that there's a lot about vaccines that can be really good and really helpful. I think shoving every vaccine down and really not differentiating them is part of why some parents are opting out of everything. And I don't think that's a good idea either.
Well, Dr. Yohannan, where can we find you? Where can our listeners look to see what you're writing, where you're talking, what you're thinking?
So if you go to our website, iwf.org, and actually I wrote a paper, so if you look, iwf.org/vaccine policy, and if you search my name, which is kind of uncommon spelling, but I've written a lot about vaccine policy, and just as a final thing, I will say, the president really, as of recently, just a few days ago, he's working really hard to try to get price transparency, to try to get some more information about what things cost, about what sort of information you would need to make good decisions as a healthcare consumer. So I'm just really passionate about anything we can do to have transparency, whether it's in the medical care we get and the prices we pay for our medical care. I just think that really knowledge is power, and that's what I want, is for people to have the power to make great decisions.
Well, thank you so much for this message. It has been so interesting, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Linda. Thank you so much for having me.
And this is Linda Kerns, and we will be right back.
When I was cutting my teeth in radio, I used to hear Bob's Little Sports Shop. I'd hear Bob do his poems. It's Rich Zioli. And now I'm introducing Bob as he's back reading his poems. This is like a dream come true. Bob's Little Sports Shop this December. For every $100 gift card purchase, get an additional $10 in Bob's Bucks to use for all of 2026. They're open Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So without further ado, Bob'sLittleSportShop.com. This ad sponsored by Bob's Little Sports Shop. Let's go, Bob!
It was Christmas Day in Trenton. The ale was flowing free. The Hessians were having a party. They were as happy as they could be. On the other side of the river, the Patriots sat in the cold, ready to cross the Delaware in a move many thought too bold. They crossed the icy river and marched throughout the night to be in the town of Trenton in time for dawn's first light. Freedom is not for the timid. Liberty never comes free. The blood of our patriot fathers bought freedom for you and for me. Merry Christmas from Bob's Little Sports Shop.
This season, everyone deserves a little more, and Mazda delivers with the extended driving range of the CX-50 Hybrid, so you can spend more time together. Standard all-wheel drive in every Mazda CUV, including the CX-5, and room to bring everyone with 3-row seating in the CX-90. Find more reasons to celebrate the season at the Mazda More to Move You sales event.
Visit Piazza Mazda of Westchester or Reading for financing as low as 0.9% APR for 72 months on select models. Shop online at piazzamazda.com.
Gold is now over $4,300 an ounce. Need cash to help pay holiday bills? Go to the Estates Roadshow Monday through Wednesday and get cash in your hands. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, and even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold is hot by going to the Estates Roadshow this Monday through Wednesday in Chestnut Hill at the Chestnut Hill Hotel or in Cherry Hill at TMT Cash for Gold. For more info, visit estatesroadshow.com.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Delaware State Police confirm a trooper and the suspected gunman are dead following an active shooter incident at a Wilmington DMV. Authorities believe people are trapped in a Bristol-Bucks County nursing home after a gas explosion. A former Bucks County elementary school teacher pleads guilty to possession of child sex abuse images.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
At Virtua Health, we're redefining heart care.
Our heart rhythm team at Virtua is really working at the forefront of technology. There's constantly new advances.
Like cardiac clinical trials and breakthrough treatments for atrial fibrillation.
Treating atrial fibrillation with ablation and treating it early allows for the best outcomes for our patients. We can make a meaningful difference in patients' lives.
Virtua Health, here for complex heart care, here for good. More at virtua.org/hereforgood.
Harvest the rewards of smart banking at First Harvest Credit Union. Open a growth checking account and earn up to 2% annual percentage yield on balances of $1,000 or more, all while enjoying easy, flexible access to your funds. Visit firstharvestcu.com/growth checking or explore our other savings options, including our growth savings accounts. Stop by your nearest branch to get started. First Harvest Credit Union, empowering members to do more for 85 years. Membership restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
Arrest warrants at the Mars Avenue residence and arrested Ashley Lynn Buzzard for the murder of Melody Buzzard.
The U.S. Supreme Court refuses to allow the Trump administration to deploy National Guard troops to Chicago, declining the administration's emergency request to overturn a lower court ruling blocking the deployment of the National Guard. Loyola Law School professor Lori Levinson.
The Supreme Court said that this statute does not empower him to federalize members of the Guard unless he's able to show that he would not be able to execute the laws of the United States with the regular military forces.
The Powerball jackpot just keeps growing. No one matched all 6 numbers during last night's drawing. So tomorrow night's jackpot is an estimated $1.7 billion. Richard Hewitt of Madisonville, Louisiana, on what he'd do with the money.
I'd spread it out with my family, split it with them, my one niece and 2 nephews, and my 2 boys and my daughter.
This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive. See why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive to stay protected on the road. See for yourself at Progressive.com.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls. Whatever that means. The Colonel lived, so we could chicken. KFC's Chicken Pot Pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second-guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
An Ohio boy is hoping to make the holidays brighter for kids in the hospital.
9-year-old Jack has collected hundreds of teddy bears to donate to kids at Nationwide Children's Hospital.
It makes me happy that all of these bears are going to go to sick patients.
His neighbors, church members, and classmates have all joined in to help.
The people at the hospital, when they get it, they can be brave.
Last year, through Jack's Bravery Bears, he says they collected well over 400.
There's just a lot of bears. It still blows my mind.
He's on track to surpass that number this year.
I'm gonna love it and be like, yay!
Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
This holiday season, many U.S. drivers are getting the gift of lower gas prices. According to data from AAA, December has been the cheapest month for prices at the pump this year. The national average for a gallon of unleaded gas has stayed below the $3 mark since December 2nd, falling to its lowest level of about $2.85 a gallon yesterday. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
So Pure Talk just had their best year ever and asked me if I'd like to thank their customers on their behalf for being so awesome. I said sure. It's important to say thanks, especially this time of year, which is why, as one of their many satisfied customers, I should probably thank Pure Talk first for keeping their customer service in this country and for providing hundreds of American jobs. I appreciate that. I also appreciate their Roundup program, which makes it easy to support America's Warrior Partnership and join the fight against veteran suicide. And I love that Pure Talk donated 1,000 hand-sewn Made in America flags to veterans around Independence Day. And of course, I really appreciate their generous support of my own foundation, MicroWorks, and their commitment to help us train the next generation of skilled workers. Having said all that, it's now my pleasure, on behalf of everyone at Pure Talk, to thank you sincerely for choosing to do business with an American wireless company that actually stands for something. And one more thing. Merry Christmas.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Premium Automobile Studios.
Powering your drive with 10 brands and 20 locations.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Linda Kerns. On Talk Radio 1210, WPHT.
And welcome back. This is Linda Kerns sitting in for the Jimmy Fallon Show this evening. And what a great song. Well, obviously it's an Elvis song, so you can't go wrong with that. But Suspicious Minds, I think that's a really good song to introduce our next guest. My longtime friend, who I think I've known as long as I've been an attorney, is up with us now. Kevin Siegel, attorney at law here in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Welcome, Kevin.
Hey, Linda, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing tonight? Are you ready for Christmas?
Yeah, as ready as my wife will let me be. Linda, I want to commend you for for pronouncing my name correctly.
Oh, why? Because
you're so nervous about not pronouncing people's names correctly. You've only known me 20 years. I'm glad you got it right.
Well, not only did I pronounce my producer's name incorrectly, he corrected me on air. So, it's a little embarrassing. But of course, Kevin, I've known you for almost as long as I've been an attorney. And listeners can find you at your website, which is kmslawgroup.com. Did I get that right?
You did, Linda, yes.
So I wanted to have you on because I like to kind of talk about things that are practical for the listeners. And you are basically a civil litigation attorney and you have civil clients. And for the audience, that means people suing other people suing businesses, businesses suing other businesses. Is that correct?
Yeah, and of course, people themselves getting sued sometimes.
Oh, right. You would have to defend people. Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit later because I am actually going to sue my producer, Justin. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But before we do, I have called you many times in a panic, even though I'm an attorney. Attorneys don't know everything. And I've called you sometimes in a panic. What should I do? So what if somebody gets in a car accident? What is pretty much the first thing they should do? I'm thinking it's not run over to the other person and say, sorry, this was all my fault.
No, of course not. I think the first thing you would want to do is obviously make sure you or the passengers in the car aren't injured. If you can, you would want to call the police right away. However, in a lot of townships and cities, the police won't come out to do a report if there are no personal injuries and if it just involves property damage. But I think it's always important to try to get a police officer out to take a report. If not, you certainly are going to want to take pictures. Everyone's got, a camera on their cell phone today, so you would want to take some pictures. Obviously, exchange information with the other driver. That's insurance and driver's license information. And then you want to call your own insurance company at some point when you get to a safe place or back home.
So if it's more than property damage, if someone's hurt, oh, God forbid someone dies, how's that different than just a regular property damage case?
So obviously if someone sustains personal injuries in Pennsylvania or New Jersey, you can potentially sue for pain and suffering. That's really the big ticket damage that we speak of. However, keep in mind in both states there's limited tort or the verbal threshold or the limitation on lawsuit option. In New Jersey, I believe most drivers carry that, so it significantly limits your ability to make a financial recovery for pain and suffering. So just because you're in an accident that is not your fault and you sustain a personal injury, that doesn't necessarily mean you can make a financial recovery for pain and suffering.
So what if you are one of these unfortunate people that you're in an accident, should you call an attorney or should you just rely on your insurance company?
Well, look, if you don't have personal injuries, you really don't need an attorney. You can pretty much handle that on your own. There's not a whole lot, I think, that I can offer you in terms of getting a better property damage settlement for the damage to your car. That's pretty much algorithms that all these insurance companies respond to. There is some level of negotiation involved. But if you do have personal injuries, it's always a good idea to get an attorney on board, if for nothing else, than just to get some, informed decision making in terms of what your rights are going forward.
Okay, got it. I often hear people say, and this is a huge pet peeve of mine, they'll say things like, well, I live in Philadelphia, but I register my car at my parents' house because the insurance is much cheaper. Or I live in New Jersey and I register it at my parents' house in another town because the insurance is much cheaper. What do you have to say about that, other than the fact that it's fraud?
Yeah, it's a terrible idea. I mean, I deal with that not infrequently. It's pointless to purchase auto insurance and then to lie about something like that, because you purchase insurance to help you in the event of some event that could potentially be beyond your financial capabilities. And then when you lie to your insurance company about where you live, where the car is, anything like that, you give them the ability to disclaim in coverage to you in the event that you need coverage. So at your most vulnerable time, your own insurance company could potentially disclaim coverage.
Right.
If they don't disclaim, they certainly could reserve their rights to disclaim at a later period in time. It unnecessarily complicates the entire process, and it is an awful idea to do that.
Okay, well, I hope anyone who's listening who thinks that it is a good idea, I hope you just change their mind. I do want to talk about this lawsuit I have against my producer. Are you game to hear about it?
Well, Linda, what about? I wanted to talk to you about why would you put Elvis on it to introduce me? I'm more of a heavy metal guy than an Elvis fan.
Well, maybe we should ask my producer. Justin?
I thought, shouldn't I have been able to pick what music I get introduced to, like professional athletes do when they come up to bat and things like that?
It's funny that you mentioned that, because normally, yes, but at the show open, because Linda is such an avid fan of Elvis, as you probably know.
Yeah, I do.
She has Suspicious Minds as her official 1210 walk-up music. So that's the song that plays at the top of every hour when we start the show.
Oh, okay. Thanks for explaining. That's kind of like I'm a Howard Stern fan, and he plays Rob Zombie to open up all his shows. So I guess I'll just have to just take it, and maybe next time I'll be able to negotiate a better deal with Linda so that she'll play some of my music.
Well, I'm glad you're getting all buddy-buddy with my producer, Justin, here, because he's going to need an attorney. And anyone who needs an attorney, they can find Kevin at kmslawgroup.com. But the reason Justin needs an attorney is because he's usually the producer on The Rich Zeoli Show, which airs from 3 to 7. And the other producer on that show, Matt DeSantis, he's a real cutie. I have a crush on him. He went to Harvard, and Justin's very jealous of him. So Justin is very mean to Matt on air. So I constantly threaten to sue. And Justin's sitting over there in his little Flyers hat and his Eagles coat, and I'm going to take all that from him because I don't want him teasing my buddy Matt DeSantis anymore. So do you think you can represent Justin?
You want me to represent? Well, wouldn't that be a conflict if you were to sue Justin and I were to be the attorney on the other side?
Well, that's not necessarily a conflict because, I mean, you can represent somebody just because I'm suing them, can't you? Would that really be a conflict?
In all honesty, I think it actually. If you're asking me seriously, I think it would. I think it would be a conflict because I have a personal friendship, longtime friendship with you. And therefore, we call into question my allegiance to Justin. So as much as Justin, I like Justin, I think I would have to decline that representation.
So Justin's out of luck, so I'm going to take it all, Justin.
Back to the public defender again.
Well, public defenders are for criminals. You're just a meanie.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the full deposition. You could be suing me for criminal charges.
He keeps calling it a deposition. It's a lawsuit. I mean, come on, Kevin. We're lawyers. Don't we just run around and sue everybody we don't like?
No, we don't do that. We don't do that. In fact, we try to dissuade people, Linda. How many times have we talked about trying to dissuade people from getting enmeshed in litigation?
I know. People don't realize that, like, as lawyers, and as much as I kid around about suing Justin, because he is really he's a bully to this other producer who's this other producer's just like heaven to work with.
DeSantis needs his ego checked, and I'll be the one to do it.
But I don't think people realize that lawyers, we don't want to get involved in lawsuits. Lawsuits take a lot of time. I mean, Kevin, if you file a lawsuit today, say in Philadelphia County, seriously, tell us, it's December of 2025. When would that lawsuit go to trial?
Probably 2.5 years. And Philadelphia is an unbelievably quick county to get a trial date in. It used to be the worst. Like when I was first a lawyer, it was one of the worst. Now it's probably the best. Best county in Pennsylvania or New Jersey.
And it's 2.5 years.
Around 2.5 years. And it's depending on the complexity of the case, it could be a little longer. If it's a medical malpractice case or a trial that's going to be 2 weeks or longer, it could be longer. You could wait longer than that.
And people don't understand that. I think because you see these lawsuits on TV or you even hear lawyers advertise on the radio about lawsuits, and you think it's all going to be so quick, and it's that's not the reality. No.
Litigation is not a pleasant experience for any litigant. If you're a plaintiff or a defendant, it is extraordinarily an unpleasant experience.
Yeah, I think about that, especially when I watch legal TV shows, which some of them can be, somewhat entertaining, but it all wraps up in the hour. And I think, wait a minute, why don't they show me sitting outside a courtroom for 3 hours waiting for my case to get called?
Oh, Linda, horror stories about, since the pandemic and we've been doing Zoom, it's gotten a little bit better, I think. But, the wasted hours and hours of waiting in a courtroom for a settlement conference or for a trial call or it's terrible.
And if a client is paying you by the hour, which isn't always the case, I mean, as a plaintiff's attorney, sometimes you're getting paid by if you get results. Is that correct?
Yeah, sometimes it's hourly. Typically, for me, and I'll speak for me, if it's a personal injury action or a professional liability action, those you take on contingent fee for the most part, and anything else is just a strict hourly. So yeah, you would be paying me if it's not a personal injury action to sit around in court and do nothing.
And I've had to do that so many times. And you sit there and your client is glaring at you, just kind of watching the meter run. And there's really nothing that can be done about it. You can't make the court go faster. Yeah.
No. And sometimes if you get a little too aggressive with the judge, it can actually hurt you. So you walk this tightrope of trying to aggressively move the case as quick as you can, and then at the same time being respectful and not kind of piss off the judges involved.
Yeah, the thing that I like about your approach and why I always refer matters to you is you always talk about being cost efficient and effective. And I think that that's so important. And you're also very practical because in legal speak, we always look at, causation and damages for these types of cases. But dumbing that down, I don't want to say dumb down because our audience is incredibly smart, but can you explain to the audience who might not have gone to law school why those two concepts are so important and why even if you have causation, if you don't have damages, you're not really getting anywhere?
Yeah, so with basically any negligence lawsuit, you have to prove that the other party was at fault, okay? And then you have to prove as a result of that's the causation, that there's a connection between that and your alleged damages. So you have to have damages. If you're involved if it's a medical malpractice action or a legal malpractice action and the attorney or the doctor did something wrong, it doesn't by definition mean that you were injured. So you can have oftentimes cases where the doctor made a mistake, but there was no damages, and therefore there's no case. It works in reverse, too, where you could have suffered horrific, catastrophic damages at the hand of a doctor or a lawyer or a financial advisor or someone when you're driving, but that other person didn't breach a standard of care or wasn't negligent, and therefore you can't make a recovery for that either. So you have to all the pieces have to kind of fit together, and that's what an attorney's job is, to help do that.
So how can people get a hold of you? Go to your website, kmslawgroup.com, to get the phone number and everything?
Yeah, kmslawgroup.com. Or I have a Pennsylvania number, 215-421-7773, and my Jersey line is 856-988-5520. Or you could just call Justin, and maybe Justin will give out my information.
There you go. Because you practice in both Pennsylvania and New Jersey, which is pretty common around these areas, since some people.
If you're an attorney in southeastern Pennsylvania, you're more likely than not going to be barred in New Jersey as well.
Well, let's get back to this lawsuit against Justin. So you're telling me here live on the air, and I'm not sure I want Justin to know this, that I might not have any damages just because he's mean to the guy I have a crush on.
That is correct. Yeah, that is correct.
See?
That may not make him a nice person, but that doesn't mean you have a lawsuit.
But I mean, I have to threaten him, and prior to us kind of laying this all bare for him, he didn't know that sometimes that's what happens. Like, lawyers just threaten just for the sake of it. So you have to really be careful around lawyers. Would you agree?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I will tell you this, I'll make a suggestion to you, and I make this suggestion to many, many people. Take them to small claims court. You can clog up, you can do it yourself, you don't need a lawyer, and the judge will decide whatever petty dispute you have, and the judge will make a call for you. So maybe you could take Justin to small claims court. You don't need a lawyer, he doesn't need a lawyer, and the judge in small claims court will make a call.
Just drag him in there just to inconvenience him. And I think that's and that unfortunately sometimes does happen. Someone who has the time or the money to do something like that. And, I like to think that people are productive. We're a productive society, but sometimes people do things like that and it can really gum up the works. and
Yeah.
just be a huge nuisance. Absolutely. A huge
Well, Linda,
nuisance.
how many times have you had a client want you to do something and you knew it wasn't going to advance their ball? In fact, it could have been counterproductive, but they don't care. They're so angry and so emotionally entrenched in their position, they don't care. They just want you to do it anyway.
Yeah, and it, as you know, I practice family law, a lot of family law, and so people are incredibly emotional. What you do with people getting hurt, or you're losing your property, or you have a medical injury, people can be really emotional. So it's really, really tough to make those decisions, and I think that's why sometimes it's good to call an attorney and just kind of bounce that off the attorney to get that sage advice.
Yeah, and it doesn't, typically, and I'll speak for myself, but I'm sure this is pretty much the key. An attorney isn't going to really charge you for a short 10, 15, 20-minute initial telephone call. Their attorneys are self-interested in some respect. They make their living off of representing people. So they're going to give you 15, 20 minutes of time to listen to your case, to see whether or not, to talk about it.
Well, Kevin, I found this very interesting, and I think that I'll be guest hosting again. Do you think you'd ever want to come back?
Only if you let me play some heavy metal music for my intro instead of Elvis. Yeah, I will come back.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know. I think that maybe that's between you and Justin. I like Elvis music. The audience knows if it's Elvis music, it's Linda Kerns. Now you're talking about making all these demands. I don't know, Justin, what do you think?
If he's scheduled any time before, like any time that's not top of the hour, I can guarantee you he will have some heavy metal music as his walk-up music.
See, when I threaten these producers, then they turn against me right on the air, Kevin.
There you go. I like Justin. Justin's a good guy.
Well, Kev, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and also for your family. I know that your wife is doing, the lion's share of the work. So,
Linda, more than the lion's share. She's doing everything. So, yeah.
Well, I am sure you're grateful to her every day, but even more so this time of year. So I wish you a very, very Merry Christmas and best of health in the new year. Thank you so much for coming on.
Linda, thank you so much. And Justin, we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you. And that was Kevin Siegel, attorney in both Pennsylvania and New Jersey, my longtime friend. You can reach him at kmslawgroup.com. I like to bring on guests that can kind of talk about just different things. I mean, we don't have to talk about world events all the time, right, Justin?
Yeah, it's nice to get local perspectives. I mean, that's the whole ethos of the station, live and local.
Yeah, and Kevin is local, and I love that question about insurance, because when I hear people that they register their car at a different address to save money, I say to them, the very first question that you're going to get asked is, well, where do you live? And then people try to kind of skirt their way out of it and say things like, well, I live at my parents' house. And then the next question a good attorney is going to ask is, okay, well, where did you sleep last night? Where did you sleep the night before? The night before that? And a good attorney can get out of you that you don't live there. And if you're not being honest with the insurance company that is a for-profit entity, they can just disclaim coverage, and then you're really out of luck. And then you didn't really save any money. So, it's good to do the right thing, and it's good for you. And that's why I like to talk to people like Kevin on the air to really just kind of just educate people, because for me, Kevin's always a phone call away, but now everyone has his number. He can be a phone call away for the audience. So coming up next, we're going to have E.J. Antonio from the Heritage Foundation. Can't wait to talk to him. I'm wondering if he'll kind of spill the beans on what happened. It sounds like the floodgates open and people just left Heritage this week. What do you think, Justin?
I don't know if EJ will go that far. I don't know. EJ's usually an open book, so we'll see what happens. But everybody at this station loves Dr. EJ Antoni. Great guy.
Well, I do have a lot of questions to ask him. I mean, I'm an attorney, but I didn't really study economics. I don't know a lot about it, so I can't wait. So this is 1210 WPHT, Linda Kerns, and we will be right back.
There's a reason that potato chips don't come in a clear bag.
There's only 8
chips in this bag.
That's why. It's only about 2/3 full. The rest is air. It's a lot like opening up your 401k at retirement. You get about 2/3 of it, and the rest goes to Uncle Sam. Jim Cipriotti at the Retire Ready Financial Group can help. His tax mapping process can help forecast what your tax bill will be in the future, and that way you can build a strategy now to potentially decrease your tax bill in retirement. In other words, more for you and less for Uncle Sam. Call today for your complimentary retirement tax mapping report, 610-894-7415. That's 610-894-7415. Or find them online at retirereadyfg.com and get Uncle Sam's greedy hands out of your retirement.
Hey, you've had enough.
With a complimentary tax mapping report from Jim Cipriotti. Investment advisory services offered through Retire Ready Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through James V. Cipriotti, Retire Ready Financial Group, LLC. NPN number 2083768.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. This holiday season, give yourself a reason to smile and book your New Year appointment with Bentz Dental Group. Dr. Bentz is excited to welcome board-certified prosthodontist Dr. Emily Bentz to the team, bringing double the state-of-the-art prosthodontic care Bentz Dental Group is known for, with Dr. Robert Bentz, Dr. Emily Bentz, and general dentist Dr. Sarah Bentz. All your dental needs are covered. Visit BentzDentalGroup.com or call 610-272-6949. From everyone at Bentz Dental Group, happy holidays.
Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? Riverwinds Restaurant in West Deptford has you covered. From weddings and anniversaries to corporate banquets and holiday parties, their stunning riverfront views, elegant event rooms, and award-winning cuisine make every occasion unforgettable. And the team at Riverwinds takes care of every detail so you can relax and celebrate. Large or small, formal or casual, there's no better backdrop than Riverwinds. Book your banquet today at 856-579-7900.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Hi, this is Larry Steinhaus, and I want to let you know that I buy houses. I buy houses from people that may be a tired landlord, maybe somebody who's having trouble selling their house, or maybe someone who needs to sell their house quickly. Well, all you need to do is call 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I promise to answer the phone and help you with your situation. That's right, your house may be cluttered. It may be a house that a relative left you, or it may just be a house you just want to get rid of. 855-939-1137. 939-1137.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano. Imagine actually feeling merry, bright, and genuinely healthy this holiday season. With Rescue, that feeling starts now. Going on today, the Deck the Hall sale lets you save up to 78% off on high-quality, research-backed natural supplements so you can feel your best. Enjoy every festive moment. Formulas are crafted with purity, potency, and real science behind every capsule. That's why customers rely on Rescue for their essentials. Powerful omega-3s, doctor-recommended cholesterol support, gentle but effective pain relief, advanced probiotic blends, and natural age-defying formulas that help you stay vibrant from the inside out. This season, give yourself the gift of feeling good. Stock up, save big, and step into the holidays with the confidence that comes from supplements made with integrity and backed by decades of results. Ordering is easy. Just go to res-q.com or call a Rescue product consultant 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483, online at res-q.com for up to 78% off this holiday season.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
When I'm on the field and feeling the pressure, I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
When I grow up,
I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. I want to be a warm place on a cold day.
Football
I want to be a
stadium.
bike that races around the country.
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Hey, Hatboro. Tell your smart speaker deployed. 1210 WPHT. WPHT.
And we are back here on 1210 WPHT. This is Linda Kerns sitting in for Jimmy Fallon on the Jimmy Fallon Show. And you did not hear Elvis music coming back from the break. And that is because we have a very special guest who has his own walk-up music that I guess supersedes the walk-up music we usually have for me, Linda Kerns. So I'd like to welcome from the Heritage Foundation, E.J. Antoni.
Oh, Linda, thank you so much for having me. Pleasure to be with you.
I'm thrilled to have you on. I have a lot to talk to you about. But before we get started, are you ready for Christmas?
I am 100%. I'm excited to hopefully get actually back to the Philly area and be able to see some family tomorrow. So fingers crossed it all works out.
Yeah, not always the best day to travel. So you're here to talk about economics. I am an attorney by trade, so they don't teach attorneys a lot about the economy, about economics. And I do have kind of a complaint, and I want to bring this to you. And that is, I feel like the left started talking about affordability. And when you start talking about affordability and expecting the government to use a heavy hand to make sure things are affordable, alarm bells go off in my head, and I think socialism, communism, a government that is too intrusive. And now I hear, obviously, the Republicans picking up that word, affordability, and I'm really afraid that we are just taking something out of the Democrats' playbook. And I don't know if this is the right way to frame things. What do you think about that?
Well, your fears are certainly understandable because every time the government tries to make something more affordable, that's essentially a surefire way to make it more expensive. Government is great at throwing gasoline on the fire when it thinks it's grabbing a fire extinguisher. It's a classic case of the arsonist playing fireman, right? The affordability crisis, the cost of living crisis that we are still in today, we have been in it for years, and it was the Biden administration's runaway spending that really caused it. It was the government spending, borrowing, and printing too much money that gave us the fastest inflation in 40 years, the fastest rise in interest rates in just as long. It's what froze over the housing market. It gave us a regional banking crisis back in the spring of 2023. I mean, we could go on and take up the entire segment just talking about all of the ways in which government spending have made us all poorer. But look, at the end of the day, if government is only going to do more of the same, then you can expect the problem to get much worse. What gives me hope, though, and this is where I'm a little less skeptical with it being Trump, is the fact that I think their way of the government doing something is going to be to undo all of the government, essentially the ways in which the government originated the problem in the first place. Their government action is going to be to remove the bad government policies that caused the problem in the first place. And so far, they've actually done a decent job at that. They are slashing regulation left and right. They've cut almost 200 regulations for every new one they have added so far this year. If we look at, we just got the latest GDP report today which measures economic activity. And as we dig through the numbers, we find that what the federal government is spending, the federal purchases, that has actually declined so far this year. It's running at an annualized rate of about minus 2%. It's exactly the opposite of what happened during the Biden years, where it averaged 2% positive growth per annum. So we're making a lot of really good progress. Look at what's happening with gas prices. my goodness, it's amazing what a difference a president with pro-energy policies can make. The reason you are paying so much less for gasoline right now, the lowest prices in 4 years going into this Christmas season, is because we are pumping more oil than ever before, and we have taken the government's boot off the neck of oil producers and the oil industry broadly. We're reducing bureaucratic red tape so it's not as expensive for them to bring that product to market, and they don't have to charge as much for it. So I really genuinely do see all the dials lining up for 2026. You throw on all the tax cuts that we're getting, we're going to get a boom in business investment next year. I'm very, very bullish on the outlook. I truly am.
Well, when you see gas prices go down, do diesel prices also go down? Because aren't all those trucks we see that are carrying all our goods all over usually run by diesel and not gas?
That's very true. And fortunately, the diesel prices have come down as well. You know, you can look around right now. Anybody who's out on the highway, I'm sure you're going to see one of those Amazon 18-wheelers out there, right? The tractor trailers with the big blue trucks with the logo on them. And even if you just stick in your neighborhood, you're going to see all of those Amazon delivery trucks and delivery vans driving around. And those are much more likely to be gas, not diesel. But still, the point stands. You are reducing the transportation costs for all of the products that you're getting delivered. And it's not just the stuff that gets delivered to your home. Even if you go to a store and you grab an item off the shelf, you know, earlier when I was on Fox, I was talking about how you go to a grocery store, right, and you grab that gallon of milk or the carton of eggs or the bag of bread, a bag of chips, you grab it off the shelf. How did it get to the shelf in the first place? It got there on a truck that was powered by fossil fuels, whether it's diesel, whether it's gas. At the end of the day, reducing all of these energy prices is going to end up reducing prices throughout the economy. That's a big reason why the latest inflation number that we just got last week had core inflation at the lowest level in 4 years.
You know, I read something in the Wall Street, I think it was the Wall Street Journal today, that kind of scared me. And let me just preface this by saying that I am well into my 5th decade, and I think I'm only on my 3rd car of my entire life. So I buy a car, I pay it off, and then I don't have a car payment for 10 years until I basically run it into the ground and then get a new one. But there was an article today that cars are getting so expensive that people are now entering into much longer car loans, and now they're even considering a 100-month car loan. And from a consumer perspective, that seems like a terrible idea.
It's insane. I mean, look, I'm not even a fan of going into debt for a car in the first place, because it is one of the worst kinds of debt, in that you are borrowing money on a depreciating asset. Unlike a home, where you're at least borrowing money to buy an appreciating asset, something that's going to go up in value, as long as markets are operating as they normally do. If you need to sell the asset, you can get at least as much as you paid out of it. And so it tends to be a lot easier to clear those debts, but not with a car. Very, very frequently, it's sad how frequently it happens, consumers get into car debt, and then the car either dies or it gets totaled or they have to sell it, whatever the case may be, before the loan is paid off. And the proceeds they get, either from the insurance payout or from the sale, whatever the case may be, aren't even enough to cover what's left on the debt. So I really, really dislike the idea of people, taking on car loans to begin with, but especially dislike these 72-month or 84-month loans that are becoming an increasingly common product because nobody can afford a new car. And look, I'm not trying to wag my finger at people who are facing hard financial times, and right now it's their only option. I get it. I don't mean to assert that a bunch of people in the audience are living beyond their means or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that we have a culture that has made it okay to take on these very, very bad debts. And unfortunately, when you combine that with the cost of living crisis that we face today, that's a deadly combination. It's frankly the same thing, I think, that has propelled so many students to take on trillions of dollars in student loan debt in aggregate. And that's debt that, frankly, is very likely never going to be able to be paid back. Or if it is, it's going to take them their entire lifetimes to pay it back.
Yeah, student loan debt, that's very scary. I mean, me personally, though, I'm an attorney by trade, and I could not have gone to law school without taking on the student loans that I did. I had no other way to pay for it. But when I see people taking on student loans for an education that doesn't really is it not going to result in a really good, well-paying job, I think you really have to think about that investment, and is that the best way for you to further your career? Maybe think about other things like going to a cheaper school or working during college or something, because that is very, very scary, that the amount of debt that these people are taking on.
That is such a great point. The whole reason you are taking out a loan, you are making essentially an investment in yourself, is because it's going to have a positive rate of return. In other words, this education, which I'm financing via debt, is going to allow me to have a higher lifetime income. And out of that lifetime income, I'm going to repay this loan. But that's very different than all these clowns going out and getting degrees and things that end in the word studies, like gender studies. My goodness, what kind of job are you going to get with that? What possible skill set could you acquire with the nonsensical courses that you're going to take getting such a degree? But sadly, you have kids literally going into $250,000 in debt over the course of 4 years to get one of these stupid degrees, and then they're all mad at the world that they can't get a job and they can't pay off the debt once they graduate. And it's just an absolute sham. And frankly, I am very, very happy that starting next month, the Trump administration's Department of Education is actually going to begin wage garnishment on people who literally, get this, they haven't paid on their student loan debt in 5 stinking years. That is absolutely appalling. The taxpayer has been having to foot the bill in the meantime. That is inexcusable. It's not just bad economics, it's immoral. That is stealing from your fellow man. And I am so glad that they're putting a stop to it.
Right, because I think it hurts the rest of us. It hurts people like me who needed those loans to get the law school education, because then it makes the loans harder to get. But I think the problem is we're going into an election year, and then the Republicans will get portrayed as people who don't like education, or people who are against students, or people who just want to keep people down. And I think that's the scary part of the message.
Well, look, I'm not going to lie that these things can be very tricky to message properly, especially when you have a mainstream media whose entire job essentially is to spin everything in favor of the radical left in this country. So I get it, but that's why shows like this are so great, because it allows us to get in front of an audience of hundreds of thousands or millions of people and explain to them what's really going on. Look, if you're somebody who already paid off your student loan, do you want to be responsible for paying off somebody else's?
No.
If you didn't even borrow money for college, do you want to actually have to pay for someone else's student loan? What if you never even went to college? I can't tell you how many carpenters, electricians, welders, mechanics that I know who never borrowed a dime and never even went to a 4-year school. Why are they now on the hook as taxpayers for some other person's student loan? That is just atrocious.
Yeah, I think Americans have to be just smarter consumers about everything, and that includes college. It's not something that you just do because that's the next thing you do after high school. I think you just have to have some type of a plan that this is an investment in your future and look at it accordingly.
Exactly. That's exactly right. But where do we teach kids that kind of cost-benefit analysis? I mean, it really is just sad how I think the education establishment in this country has failed so many kids. And this goes back to the very first thing we started talking about, or one of the first things, with the government trying to address affordability when the government was the one that created the problem in the first place. How on earth is the government going to address education? The government is the one that messed up the whole sector in the first place. It has been government-run schools that have wrecked education in this country, that have lowered standards and have reduced outcomes, whether you're talking educational attainment or lifetime attainment, like lifetime earnings, for example. things have all become worse because of the government running these programs. You know why? Because bureaucrats have zero incentive to make sure any of these programs work. It's not their kids and it's not their money being spent. They have no incentive. It is all about incentives. If you want better outcomes, get people in place who have an incentive to make those outcomes be better.
And that's a great message to end on, especially going into this midterm year when it's so important for the voters to get out there and choose the right people for government. EJ, thank you so much for coming on, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas.
Oh, my pleasure. Very Merry Christmas to you and yours.
Thank you. And this is Linda Kerns on 1210 WPHT sitting in for Jimmy Fallon, and we will be right back after these messages.
Prioritize yourself and make your dream of an attractive, healthy smile a reality at PI Dental Center. The professionals at PI Dental have been transforming patients' smiles for over 38 years. Board-certified specialists, Dr. Glenn Wolfinger and Dr. Robert Slough, perform complex dental makeovers with their Teeth in a Day protocol, where dental implants are placed and restored with fixed teeth in just one day. It's time to invest in yourself. For a smile that's monumental, trust PI Dental. Visit pidentalcenter.com.
Hey, Jeff, looks like your business is really booming, even in a tough time for businesses like ours.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, thanks to LendSeek, our business was able to take care of some outstanding bills and taxes and to purchase inventory and expand our product lines.
Wow. You know, my business needs working capital, but only from a reputable company that I can trust and count on. How does LendSeek work?
Fast and easy. Just apply at lendseek.com. Their AI lending platform gave my business access to over 100 funding programs with one simple application. And it costs nothing to apply.
At lendseek.com, you can receive business funding with no collateral, no prepayment penalties, and no restrictions on how you use the funds. Whatever your funding needs are, seek no more. Our AI lending marketplace has you covered. If you've been in business at least 1 year with annual revenue of at least $250,000, you could get the funding your business needs in as little as 24 hours. There's no obligation, so apply today at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
In retirement, nobody wants to have one eye on airfare and the other eye on the stock market. Tune in to the Retirement Spectrum with Alan Cohen, Saturdays at 6 a.m. and 3 p.m. on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
It's here. B101 has transformed into Philly's official Christmas station. Relax and unwind with your holiday favorites 24 hours a day, all the way through Christmas. Tell your smart speaker to play B101.
Hugh Douglas here. Make your tailgating holidays count with Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey at your local fine wine and good spirit stores. You can save $3 on 1.7-liter bottles of Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey, along with Tennessee Honey and Fire. Also take advantage of additional holiday savings with $2 off Gentleman Jack 750s and the new Jack Daniel's Coca-Cola Variety 6-pack of ready-made drink cocktails in a can. Stock up now at your local fine wine and good spirit stores this holiday season. Celebrate responsibly.
Attention! Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-848-2299. 800-848-2299. Again, that's 800-848-2299.
Keep free speech alive. Follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
And we are back. This is Linda Kerns sitting in for Jimmy Fallon here on 1210 WPHT. And my producer, Justin, here just played more Elvis for me. Justin, how do you pick these Elvis songs?
I have my Spotify open, and I have because I remember asking you before the show started. You said, you play Elvis songs, but not Elvis Christmas songs. And I said, oh, I know there's like Blue Christmas. And I asked if there's anything else, and you gave me this sheer look of disgust.
All right, let's not be all dramatic about it. I don't think it was quite discussed. Sometimes I'm afraid the more we talk about how much I like Elvis, the more people are going to think I'm a complete kook. So,
but no, I have it's this playlist of specifically Elvis Christmas songs that I've been kind of rotating in and out of throughout the show.
Well, I do appreciate it, and I think it's kind of like my signature. People know that if you hear Elvis, Linda must be here.
Yeah, like it's your thing. Like it's the same thing with like all of our recurring guests that we have, and now that you're a fill-in host here, it's like EJ has The Apprentice, Dr. John Yu has Eye of the Tiger, Dr. Victoria Coates has Young Americans by David Bowie. Everybody's got their thing that if you hear that song, it's who to expect coming up.
Yeah, I loved interviewing Dr. John Yu. In fact, the first time I guest hosted, which was right before Thanksgiving, he was my very first guest.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've known him for a long time because we're both members of the Federalist Society, and he's from Philly. He's an Eagles fan. I'm still not getting why he's out in California and why he left us. I don't understand why anyone would go there and leave.
He's just trying to make a difference somewhere that desperately needs difference making.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, but still, I don't think that we should export all of our great people out of this area. We need them here in the Philly area because sometimes I feel like this city, we cannot get out of our own way, and I am so frustrated by that.
Like re-electing Larry Krasner.
That, and just I feel like I've actually traveled a lot. I've been to all over the world. I've been to most of the United States, and I think that there's no place like Philadelphia. I don't think that people understand how awesome it is. We're so close to everything. We have the shore, we have the mountains, we're close to New York, we're close to DC, we have city, we have suburban, and then we have the rural areas. I just think it's a great place to live. We have the Four Seasons, which I like. I mean, right now it is getting a little chilly, but I just think it's a great place to live, and I think it could be so much better. And Philadelphia, I feel like we will not get out of our own way, and I get very, very frustrated, especially as an election law lawyer when elections come around and people don't even show up to vote, and then we just keep electing these same old people. So it's a constant frustration of mine. But we did win the Super Bowl, which I do like to remind people. I do have to talk often about elections. I go usually once or twice a year. I'll go to different places in the country and talk about elections, and I always mention how we have won 2 Super Bowls. So I do remind people about that.
Third coming up? ?
Well, you said you don't like to make a prediction, and I don't want to jinx anything. I would like to see us win another Super Bowl. We deserve it.
What we deserve is another World Series.
We do, yeah. The Phillies can break our heart too, and people make fun of me when I go to other places and say, "Oh, you Eagles fans or you fans, you're so brutal." And
the Santa story.
Well, that wasn't the real Santa.
I know.
That was some guy in a Santa costume.
I have to explain. Like when I went to college, I had a couple of friends that were from like Florida and from like out west, and they're football guys. So the first thing they hear when you hear you're an Eagles fan, "Oh, you guys threw snowballs at Santa Claus?"
Yeah, no, that wasn't the real Santa. Right now is packing his sleigh. Mrs. Claus is probably packing his lunch or his snacks for the ride. The reindeer are getting ready. They're getting all fueled up. That's the real Santa. And I will tell you, an Eagles fan would never throw snowballs at that guy. So I just want to clear that up for everyone. So this is Linda Kerns filling in for Jimmy Fallon on 1210 WPHT from the great city of Philadelphia, and we will be right back.
When equipment breaks down and operations come to a halt, every single second counts. So why is your maintenance team spending 60% of their time doing anything but turning wrenches? MaintainX is the AI-powered maintenance and asset management system that helps your team get back to actually fixing breakdowns. No more searching for manuals. No more hunting down parts. No more drowning in paperwork. With MaintainX, your team can access manuals from anywhere, create new procedures in minutes, and turn voice notes into clear and complete work order feedback. What used to take hours now only takes minutes. Keep your operations moving, not your paperwork. Join over 11,000 maintenance teams that are already fixing more and filing less. Try MaintainX for free today. Go to maintainx.com/AI. That's maintain and the letter x.com/AI.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
And so many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Delaware State Police confirm a trooper and the suspected gunman are dead following an active shooter incident at a Wilmington DMV. Authorities believe people are trapped in a Bristol-Bucks County nursing home after a gas explosion. A former Bucks County elementary school teacher pleads guilty to possession of child sex abuse images.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Download to see if you qualify for Albert Instant Advance. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription is required for Instant Advance. Please see the Albert app or albert.com for subscription pricing. Subscriptions can be canceled at any time.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? You can get up to a $1,000 advance fast to pay for car repairs, bills, rent, groceries, whatever you need. Plus, Albert can help you find ways to save and give you a custom budget to actually grow your money.
Albert can get me up to $1,000?
Exactly. But they do more than get you up to $1,000. Albert is your financial assistant, helping you budget, save, and spotting you money in a pinch.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code SAVE to get up to $1,000 for your bills, rent, groceries, and more. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code SAVE to get up to $1,000. Use code SAVE to get up to $1,000.
Of Southern California. That is a disaster, and gusts of wind in places 65 to 80 miles per hour.
The Justice Department released more of its files on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein early today. They mentioned President Trump, but there are no accusations of wrongdoing on his part. CBS's Scott McFarland reports.
Another wave of records from the Jeffrey Epstein file was released by the Department of Justice, including several that mention Donald Trump by name. One is a 2020 Department of Justice email, which says Trump made more flights on Epstein's plane than previously known, at least 8, between 1993 and 1996.
Last-minute Christmas shoppers are scrambling at a mall in Boston.
I got a crock pot, a personal blender, and a weight scale for cooking.
The National Retail Federation projects holiday sales will surpass $1 trillion for the first time. Former Republican Senator Ben Sasse says last week he was diagnosed with metastasized stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The 53-year-old says on social media it's a death sentence. Sasse represented Nebraska in the U.S. Senate from 2015 to 2023, resigning to become president of the University of Florida. He stepped down from that role in July 2024, citing his wife's health issues. He and his wife have 3 children. Libya's military chief and 7 others are killed in a plane crash. The BBC's Sebastian Usher reports.
According to the Turkish Interior Minister, contact with the plane carrying General Mohammed Ali Ahmed al-Haddad was lost around 40 minutes after it had taken off from Ankara en route to Tripoli. The last contact was reportedly when the business jet requested to make an emergency landing, but then went silent. The Libyan chief of staff had been in Ankara for high-level talks with Turkish defense officials.
This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Take the next step forward in your career with great benefits and an award-winning workplace. Apply at careers.progressive.com.
A KFC tale in the pursuit of flavor. The holidays were tricky for the Colonel. He loved people, but he also loved peace and quiet. So he cooked up KFC's $4.99 chicken pot pie. Warm, flaky, with savory sauce and vegetables. It's a tender chicken-filled excuse to get some time to yourself and step away from decking the halls. Whatever that means. The Colonel lived so we could chicken. KFC's Chicken Pot Pie. The best $4.99 you'll spend this season.
Prices and participation may vary while supplies last. Taxes, tips, and fees extra.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second-guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a Realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
A school resource officer in Texas is being hailed as a hero. CBS's Michael Wallace explains why.
The full-size bus was taking elementary school students home when it broke down in the middle of Mambrino Highway in Hood County, southwest of Fort Worth.
I saw a problem and I needed to solve it.
A passing dash cam recorded Granbury School Marshal Officer Adric Strife getting in front of the bus and pushing it about 15 feet off the road to safety. The video has gone viral.
The next day, I get to work and everybody's like, oh, look, it's Superman, it's Superman.
The Army veteran says he's no hero. It's his job to keep the kids safe. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
British authorities bring new charges of rape and sexual assault against comedian Russell Brand. They say the alleged incidents are from 2009. Brand had already been charged in April with similar offenses involving 4 women between 1999 and 2005. He pleaded not guilty to those charges and is due in court in January on the new charges. Jennifer Kuiper, CBS News.
Our country is held together by small businesses. That's a fact. It's also a fact that 9 out of 10 of those small businesses will fail. Why? Because it's hard. Really, really hard to build a profitable business from the ground up today. Pure Talk knows that. They started as a small American wireless company determined to keep their customer service in this country. It worked, and today Pure Talk is determined to help other small businesses prosper by offering them the same white glove service the big guys get. Same service, same 5G network at a truly affordable price. Pure Talk is focused on businesses that employ welders and roofers, electricians, plumbers, HVAC techs, the people who keep the lights on. If that sounds like your business, give Pure Talk Business a try and see just how much you could save. Dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who understands the power of small business. Pure Talk.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Piazza Auto Group Studios, experience the power of one with 8 brands and 25 locations. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Live and local with Linda Kerns on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And welcome back. This is Linda Kerns sitting in for the Jimmy Fallon Show. And you're hearing Elvis music, which means I'm here because Justin likes to play my theme Elvis song. I do think I need to teach Justin some other Elvis songs because he just keeps going back to the same one again and again. What do you think?
Well, for the open, normally it's the same exact song. Like how Rich has the Lonely Boys.
True. Okay.
And then Dom has the Who. Usually the open song will always stay consistent so people know, like, okay, it's that song, so
she's here.
They conflate it with that host.
And the Suspicious Mind song is one of Elvis's best. I mean, they're all really, really awesome. I mean, there's nothing he did that wasn't awesome, right? Don't you agree, Justin?
Yeah, but Suspicious Minds is the one that we've used as your walk-up song since the election last year.
True. Well, I want to thank Justin because he is just being an excellent producer for me. You're just making this so easy, and I really thank you. And obviously Dan Borowski, who is off, but who helped me book guests and schedule everyone. Greg Stocker, our boss, who gave me this opportunity, and I am incredibly grateful. Dawn Stensland, who has me on our show every Wednesday, helped me get my feet wet. So there's a lot of people to be thankful for. I guess I should thank Rich Zioli too, although I'm usually not happy with him. So
it's Christmas time. We could be thankful.
Yeah. So I hear he got a dog.
Yeah, he did get a dog.
And he named the dog Gary.
Gary Zioli's.
So is the next kid going to be named Rover? Like, are we giving human names to the dogs, and then he's going to have more kids and give them dog names like Rover or Biscuit, or what's going on there?
I'll be honest. I was expecting a more Italian name for a dog than Gary Zioli. I was expecting something more Italian.
Well, I have actually 2 dogs, and their names kind of tell you a little bit about me. One is named Thatcher after, do you know who?
The Iron Lady?
Yes, Margaret Thatcher. And the other one is named Gipper after Justin?
You lost me on that.
Oh, my heavens. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see, I'm showing my age. Gipper was Reagan's nickname. Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, I know who Reagan is. I didn't know his nickname was Gipper.
Yeah, from a movie. So, and Thatcher and Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan were friends. So one of my dogs is named Thatcher. The other is named Gipper. I did it actually, specifically because, I do live in Philadelphia, and if I walk down the street with a dog named Reagan, you just never know what's going to happen. You have to be careful around here.
Did you see the picture of the dog on Rich's Twitter?
I think I did. What kind of a dog is it? Is it a golden retriiever?
No.
No. Is it one of those designer dogs?
I want to say, I remember when we had Rich on yesterday to talk about it. He said the breed Cockapoo.
Oh, yeah. So,
I don't know if you have the YouTube stream open.
No,
but
I don't.
I do have a picture of him. I'll put it up there
Okay.
for the people that are watching right now. But if you're not watching on our YouTube stream, you can go on to Twitter X, your preferred nomenclature for it, and you can look up Rich's account at Rich Zioli, and you'll see a picture he uploaded today of him hugging the dog. And when he said he got the dog, he said it was going to be a little dog, but this dog looks a lot bigger. Like, I had a little dog. I had a Morkie for 8 years, and that's a little dog.
Right.
This dog looks like it's going to be a big son of a gun. I'll tell you that much.
Well, I'll be interested to hear the progression, because a lot of times you get the dog, the kids want the dog. We want the dog. Dad, we'll do everything. We'll take the dog for walks. We'll feed the dog. And then, you know what? Sometimes the dog just becomes like another piece of the furniture, and Dad's the one out walking the dog and feeding the dog, and it wears off pretty quickly.
I do love how on day one was yesterday of getting the dog. Day 2, Rich is already went off to New York.
And
he was in New York today.
And left the dog home with his wife and kids.
Yeah, left. So they had to deal with Gary today.
Well, having 2 dogs, and I tend to do a lot of radio. I'm not talking about guest hosting, but when I'm a guest on radio shows, and I was especially did that a lot during the election, and I would always have to run and take my dogs outside. Sometimes I would put them in the car, so that you can't, because you just never know if they're going to start barking when they're on the radio, and that would be horrific to just have this just dog yapping when you're trying to talk on the radio. And I remember one time, one of my dogs got out, and I was on the radio live. I don't remember what program it was, and I heard my door knocking because one of my neighbors found my dog roaming the neighborhood, and she's pounding on my door, and I said, what do? I'm on the radio. I'm talking about elections. I can't just say, wait a minute, there's somebody at my door, because my dog got out. So I know Rich does his show from home a lot, so he better figure out what to do with that dog.
I can't wait for when he comes back on the 5th. And the first thing that we're going to hear is Gary Zioli.
Because if they start yelping, you can't get them to stop. And then what's he going to do? Is that going to be the radio show, just to hear the dog bark?
Just to hear and then, I can't wait to hear his reaction the first time when he has to wake up really early, like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to go walk him.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and in the middle of the night, if a dog has to go, the dog has to go. But they are cute. They're amazing. They're great. They're great. They're just great companions. It teaches kids responsibility. Their dogs are great. The only thing the matter with dogs is they don't live as long as we do, and that's what makes it tough sometimes to have a dog. But I just had both my dogs at the vet today. They're getting very old, and they're still kicking, and got all their shots, and they're ready to go. So they're going to be with us for.
How old are your dogs?
Well, these 2 are rescues, so I think We think one is around 14 and the other might be like around 12. These are rescues, so they're kind of like mutts. They're smaller dogs. My first dog was a Shetland sheepdog. He was a purebred that I got from a breeder. The good thing about getting a dog from a breeder is you know what you're going to get, that you can kind of predict the personality. And so that's good for a first dog. Like, you don't have to worry that you're getting something that, wow, I just don't know how this dog's going to turn out. Because when you get these shelter dogs, they're awesome and they're lovable and they want love, but you just don't know.
Especially when you have like young kids like Rich
Right.
does. So like he knew what he was like. Him and Bridget probably like picked out one that they
Right.
knew would work well with the young kids. And
Right. And you cannot always just predict that with a shelter dog because you just don't know what the personality is going to be or what was in that dog's past. So yeah, when the children are younger, and as long as you're hopefully getting it from a responsible breeder, because you don't want the breeder who, overbreeds and that's not good for the dogs either. But I think he's just going to have a lifetime of just fun with the dog. Although at that dog will probably still be around when all those kids are off at college. So there you go. He'll still have the dog. So, but no, I think that's great. Great for him. Do you know where that name came from?
I don't remember. I want to say he said the kids picked it out.
Okay.
Because like I said, Rich is a strong, God-fearing Italian man. I think he would have gone with a more Italian name than Gary.
Or well, he already named his daughter Reagan, so that's taken. It's not like he can.
He would have gone like a political name, or if he would have gone
Lincoln
with an Italian name.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna have. I mean, it's just a lifetime of happiness. I hope people though think. I do think Rich thought a lot about this. He thought very carefully about it. Some people don't, and then they get these dogs for Christmas, or they think it's a good idea, and then in a few weeks or a few months, they realize, I can't have this dog. This dog is too much. So I hope people really think about that. But I bet I bet Santa's packing up some dogs to leave under some Christmas trees. What do you think?
I think so. Personally, I'm a cat person. I know that's crazy, but
I am
like
so
cats.
allergic to cats.
I think you've told me this
I am
before.
very allergic. I can't. I get rashes. I can't breathe. My eyes water. So, Justin, you and I have no future.
What a shame. What a shame. How could I compete as a cat lover who went to a state university against Matt DeSantis, who has gone to 2 Ivy League, graduated from Harvard, going to Johns Hopkins, and is a dog lover?
Oh, wait. What does he get a degree at Johns Hopkins in?
I want to say MBA.
Oh, wow. Good for him. Interesting.
I'm surprised he doesn't just complete the full-time student trifecta and go for a third. I think I saw this earlier because we were talking about Ben Sass earlier.
Oh,
I know he got his BA from Harvard. He got his MBA from Johns Hopkins, and he went to Yale. So I said, I texted Matt. I said, "Are you gonna go for the Ben Sass trifecta and go to Yale for your PhD?"
And what did he say? Does he want to?
He just laughed. I think he'll be done after Johns Hopkins.
Yeah, gosh, poor Ben Sass. I mean, what a horrible thing to get, horrible news to get right before Christmas. But he does seem to have an incredible attitude about it. And I always really liked him. He came to FedSoc, which is the Federal Society, and spoke to us a couple times. And he's a great speaker. And I wish his family well. So this is Linda Kerns on the Jimmy Fallon Show. We're going to be right back after these messages. Stay tuned.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Tickets to Joe Conklin shows make great holiday gifts.
Hey, this is Ray Didinger. I had the opportunity to open the Joe Conklin show. It was sensational. It includes all the impressions, Iverson, Merrill, and Mike, Barkley. He brought in the full orchestra. It's really good. His daughter Casey's part of it. His brother's part of it. They can rock it, boy. So you got all the music, plus you got all the comedy. It's a great night.
See Joe Conklin and the City Rhythm Orchestra at the Broadway Theater in Pymon, New Jersey, February 21st. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com. joeconklin.com!
Oh! Hey, Joe DeCamera here. Let me tell you about my friends at United Tire and Service. You know, United Tire wants to wish you and your family a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. If you need quick travel preparations, now is the time to save and make sure your car is ready for winter driving. United Tire has some of the best prices of the year, and when you buy 2 or more tires, you'll get $50 off any other service that your car needs. Happy holidays from United Tire and Service. And remember, don't drive alone, drive United. Visit UnitedTire.com.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-269-3454. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-269-3454 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-269-3454 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-269-3454.
Now, you can listen to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
And this is Linda Kerns on 1210 WPHT. I am sitting in for Jimmy Fallon. I am not going to have a blue Christmas because I am having such a good time here on 1210 WPHT.
I had to. It was the one Elvis Christmas song that everybody, even somebody who doesn't listen to Elvis as much like me, it's the one you know from Elvis.
I mean, listen to that voice. How could you not love it? Justin?
I'm not saying he's a bad singer. I've never said he's a bad singer. Just not as big of a cup of tea. Like, obviously you love Elvis to death, but not my. I would much rather listen to like when we talked with Kevin earlier. Much rather listen to something a little more heavier.
So do you listen to Phil Almquist's show on Saturday nights? He does the heavy stuff, right?
Yeah, Phil, it depends on the week, but normally he'll do more heavier stuff. So I try and tune into This Week in Music History whenever I can.
Yeah, which is doing great. I think his ratings are really high. I'm so proud of him. I'm so happy for him.
Couldn't happen to a better guy.
So recently in the Wall Street Journal, there's been a lot of articles about a topic that can be very stressful and touchy for people, and that's in vitro fertilization. And obviously, it is an option for couples who can't have babies. You go to a doctor. The doctor helps you to either have the egg fertilized and implanted, or you maybe use a donated egg. And it's a way sometimes for couples who really want to bring a child in this world and a child with their genetic material. It's a way for them to have those babies. But the Wall Street Journal has been running a lot of pretty interesting articles. The other day they had a whole story on some women who are recruited to carry babies or to donate eggs, and how these women can be almost subject to human trafficking because they don't know what they're getting into. They're taken from their country. They're brought to another country. And it turns this whole baby making into a commodity, and it turns children into a commodity. And it gets to me, that's very, very, very scary because children are just the most precious thing in the world. And to think that all of a sudden we are now turning them into a commodity where people can just pay to get a baby, that's really scary. It's taking something that science developed to helping infertile couples and taking it to a level that I think is actually could be hurting us. And I think it was today, there was an article about this Russian billionaire who is out there and he wants to fight global infertility. And this kind of sounds like things that Elon Musk was saying, like, let me have a lot of babies. So this particular guy, he founded Telegram, which is a social media site. I
remember when you were telling me about it during the break, like about a billionaire. Telegram. I didn't know.
So his name is Pavel Durov, and I think I'm pronouncing that right. So he's a billionaire, and I guess the money came from founding Telegram. I gotta find a social media site. Maybe that's my ticket, or maybe win that Powerball they keep talking about.
I think it's up to what, 1.8 billion.
Well, what I would not do with $1 billion is what this guy's doing, who apparently he just keeps donating his sperm to this one clinic, and then the clinic advertises that they have his sperm, and then women come in, and they don't charge for the sperm because he wants these women to have babies with his sperm, and he wants to have 100 children or more children. So he's actually fostering all this, and then he's promising these women and the children that they have that they'll have a piece of his wealth, that he'll help them financially. And this entire thing is, to me, is way too science fiction. It's not how we're supposed to have babies. And I think children would rather have a father who's present than not know a father and just know that he's giving them money. And this is just a really scary, I think, consequence of these IVF that is not regulated, that kind of allows these clinics to do this, allows these men to just donate all these sperm. It's just, I don't understand why these guys think it's a good idea. And just to think like this if he does donate and has 100 children, what happens to those children? What if some of them are in the same town? You could grow up and maybe not realize that you're related to other people in your town. It really destroys the entire concept of family. And I just, there needs to be something done to kind of tamp down on this, and it just doesn't seem to be happening. Because I know Elon Musk talked about this a little bit, right?
Yeah, Elon Musk talks constantly and proves with his actions that he wants to have a lot of children. And I mean, he spends a lot of time with his kid that he had with Grimes, at Lil X, but you never hear anything except for like his one kid that's trans now. But you don't hear, he's got like 7 or 8 other kids besides X and the trans one.
Right. And I think children need their parents in their life, not just some figure that they don't see that often. We don't know how much he sees his children, because we only see what's in the media. But just trotting a child out for the photographers, that's not really truly being a father. And this is something that the United States, we do not regulate enough. It needs to be regulated. We need laws on this. And I hope that these stories are scary enough for people that lawmakers will start to take some action and kind of tamp down on all this. So this is Linda Kerns on 1210 WPHT, sitting in for Jimmy Fallon. Thank you, Jimmy Fallon, for the opportunity, and we will be right back.
Download to see if you qualify for Albert Instant Advance. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription is required for Instant Advance. Please see the Albert app or albert.com for subscription pricing. Subscriptions can be canceled at any time.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? You can get up to a $1,000 advance fast to pay for car repairs, bills, rent, groceries, whatever you need. Plus, Albert can help you find ways to save and give you a custom budget to actually grow your money.
Albert can get me up to $1,000?
Exactly. But they do more than get you up to $1,000. Albert is your financial assistant, helping you budget, save, and spotting you money in a pinch.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code SAVE to get up to $1,000 for your bills, rent, groceries, and more. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code SAVE to get up to $1,000. Use code SAVE to get up to $1,000.
Gold is now over $4,300 an ounce. Need cash to help pay holiday bills? Go to the Estates Roadshow Monday through Wednesday and get cash in your hands. Gold and silver, old rings, chains, and even broken jewelry. Don't wait. Cash in while gold is hot by going to the Estates Roadshow this Monday through Wednesday in Chestnut Hill at the Chestnut Hill Hotel or in Cherry Hill at TMT Cash for Gold. For more info, visit estatesroadshow.com.
Experience casino like never before at Bet365. Spin your way through your favorite games. Check out our awesome table games and face off against a real live dealer. And play exclusive games that you simply can't play anywhere else. New Bet365 players get a 100% deposit match bonus up to $1,000 plus spins. Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically present in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. T&Cs apply.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hey, it's Nick Cale. This holiday season, share the love of driving excellence at the Mercedes-Benz Holiday Love Celebration at Mercedes-Benz of Westchester, Wilmington, and Atlantic City. With exceptional offers like the 2025 C-Class sedan or the 2026 GLC SUV with 1.99% financing for 36 months. And I just saw on social media that our guy Michael Steinberg from the sales department who manages our Piazza partnership just got a gorgeous new Mercedes-Benz in Westchester. So discover your Mercedes-Benz today at Mercedes-Benz of Westchester, Wilmington, or Atlantic City.
The Crash Proof Retirement Show will air before and after Penn State football this Saturday. Tune in at 11 a.m., then again right after the game to learn how to create your own Crash Proof Retirement game plan.
B101 is spreading holiday cheer throughout Philly. Tune in for the soundtrack to your Christmas season, featuring all the holiday songs you love. Christmas music all day, every day, only on B101, Philly's official Christmas station.
Got any gadgets? Get online protection. NordVPN has a ho-ho holiday deal just for you. Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro feature helps you avoid malware, phishing, and annoying trackers. Just a few taps and you're safer online. Let your gadgets sparkle with online security. Go to NordVPN.com and get up to 77% off plus 3 extra months. NordVPN.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah. 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, he knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they gonna know?
Talk. They hear you. For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Dear Santa, I hope you are having a good day in the North Pole. Is it cold all the time there? Is that why your cheeks are so rosy? My mom says I'm a good helper, but you didn't come last year. Was my chimney broken? I just really hope this year when I wake up, I'm gonna see that you came to my house too.
Donate and help the Marines deliver hope to a child in need.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
And this is Linda Kerns on 1210 WPHT. I think Justin's trying to put us to sleep with his choice of Elvis music.
Well, we had problems getting our next guest connected, so I had 5 seconds to pick something before the return bumper started.
All right, well, this is going in your file, so be afraid.
Fair enough. I figured as much.
So this is Linda Kerns sitting in for Jimmy Fallon, and I would love to welcome our next guest. I've been so excited to bring her on the radio, Lauren Casper. Lauren, are you there?
Hi, Linda. Good evening. Happy Merry Eve before Christmas Eve.
I know. Santa's probably packing up the sleigh right now. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Well, Lauren, let me introduce you to our listeners. As many of our listeners know, I am an attorney and I represented President Trump in the Republican National Committee in 2024 in the campaign here in Pennsylvania. I also represented him in 2020 and 2016. And you also worked on the campaign. You were one of, I guess you could say, my deputies, but I really looked at you as an equal. And the reason I wanted you on the show, Lauren, is because I realized that I was kind of the face. I was the one they put out there. I was the one they put on media. But you guys working behind the scenes work so hard, and I want to get you some credit for it. So can we talk about the campaign a little bit?
Sure. Well, thanks, Linda. And first and foremost, to all of your listeners, I mean, Linda, you really are the real deal. And every single Pennsylvanian that is a Trump supporter should be thanking you. And I hope they do. So,
well, I think that they should be thanking you because let's talk about Philadelphia. I mean, how many campaigns did we work where all of a sudden our job is there's about 1,700 polling places in Philadelphia, and we have to find poll watchers for every single one of them.
It is. It's a labor of love, though, and we do this because we love America. We love Philadelphia. And it's been such an amazing opportunity to be a part of it, and I think we're really lucky that we have the best and brightest in Philadelphia and in Pennsylvania on Election Day.
Right. So in 2024, let's talk about our core team. We had me, we had you, Lauren Casper, we had Tom Petruzik, who was the Election Integrity Director for the Republican National Committee for Pennsylvania. And of course, I brought on Joe DeFelice, attorney, longtime Philadelphian. He's now at HUD, and he was our attorney in charge of Philadelphia. So that was pretty much our core team. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. That's where all the magic happened. And, we're so lucky to have guys like Joe and Tom and, the other, our partners at the RNC. I mean, it's really, it is called a war room for a reason. We're really kicking butt in there. It's really cool.
Right. And I think bringing people in, too, sometimes they just don't understand those of us who are from Philly, like Tom Petruzik. He's from Connecticut, so he really had no idea what really Philly was like. And can we say that you just, can we tell on the air that you just decided his name was too hard to pronounce, so you assigned him another name, and that's what we called him all throughout the campaign?
I did. I thought it was hard, and we're we like to get to the point here in Philly, and no, I think people really have no idea how or what we do until Election Day, and we have our wonderful volunteers that come and volunteer their time, and I feel like our lovely minority inspectors, and they really get to be a part of the process, and I think that's so important, and that's how it should work. Right. And it takes a lot of work to recruit.
It's so much to recruit. I mean, how many spreadsheets do you think we had to cover both Philadelphia, which is, basically an island of its own, but then also all the counties? And then this past time, we also had to cover all of the places where the mail ballots were getting counted. So we basically had spreadsheet upon spreadsheet and had to fill that with all the volunteers. And that was basically, you were kind of the lead on that.
Well, it was so fun because we got to really see, all the true believers out there, Linda. And I mean, this. How many phone calls did we get of people that were just so happy of what we were doing? And look, we got the occasional protester, but, I wasn't really mad about it.
True. I am going to take some time to complain just because, Lauren, it was such a huge job, and you guys had to really just slot all these people into basically thousands of slots across, schedules across the Commonwealth. And we would have volunteers come in, and I think this was more the lawyer volunteers. And I'm a lawyer myself, but I will say that some of them are really just not fun to work with because they come in and they're there to volunteer and they think that they're coming in to just argue before the Supreme Court. And we have to tell them, no, you're here to watch ballots get counted.
Every part of the process matters. And I think, why we work so well, and actually something that Jody Felice, who's now the, very high up in the Trump administration at HUD, well-deserved. He's a brilliant man. But I think he's really the one that brings the Philly culture, which is, hey, you're going to wash the dishes. You're going to pick up the phones. You're doing everything. And it's not just suing. It's organizing. It's making sure that our lawyers are informed. And it's a great process to be involved with. But I agree, Linda. The important stuff happens behind the scenes and not always front and center.
Yeah, and it's an all hands on deck. And what I think is kind of amusing, at least because we've done this so many times, we set up, you use the word war room. I sometimes I like to call it a call center because that word war, but we rented a huge gymnasium in Philly and we couldn't really publicize where it was because we were concerned about security. And we recruited dozens of lawyers to come in and answer the phone on Election Day because we put a hotline out there and we said, okay, everyone in Pennsylvania, if you have a problem voting, you call this hotline. So, Lauren, why don't you describe what happened basically when that hotline opened at 6 a.m. on Election Day?
Absolutely. I want to take 15 seconds to just say, how crazy is it that we needed security to promote our clean and fair elections here in Philadelphia?
Oh,
Let's
it's a disgrace.
Start there.
Yeah, it's a disgrace.
That's the starting line. But yeah, Linda, I mean, it's we had to do what we had to do. It was so fun, and I really think that Philadelphians were motivated this election.
Yeah, and that phone starts ringing. It just starts ringing off the hook, and you kind of describe some of the people who, if it was their first time there, they just look like a deer caught in headlights. They just cannot believe the volume of calls we have to handle on Election Day from voters with problems.
And they're serious calls, Linda. They're very serious calls. I remember this was remember we got a couple bomb threats. We got a couple, we got many violent reports. And luckily we dispatch lawyers and they go and check it out and report what they say.
Yeah. And we, with the help of the Republican National Lawyers Association, we had recruited lawyers from all over the country. And I had lawyers basically in every county in Pennsylvania. We have 67 counties, and we just had this huge operation where people would call and then we would kind of figure out, how to route that call and how to get the job done. And we did it. And I'm really, really proud of us. And I think that we were magic. We just worked really well together.
We did. And we had a great team. And it's really, it was a model, I think, of how you put a great team together. And I think the RNC is finally taking this seriously, and they should.
Right, because what our theme was that in 24 and now always going forward is you want to encourage people to vote. You need to get out the vote. You need to knock on doors. But people aren't going to show up to vote unless you assure them that their vote's safe. And that's what we constantly tried to do. And you were behind the scenes, and I was out in front, but you were the one behind the scenes. And I want people to understand the hours that you put in. I mean, we didn't even know if it was Saturday, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday. It was just constant for months leading up to that election.
It really was. And a quick story. There was a woman who was a volunteer who came in almost every day, and she was such a Trump supporter. She believed so much in Donald Trump. She believed in school choice. And it was people like her that really got me motivated. And, thank God that we, elected President Trump, because I can't even imagine how different our Christmas would be next, had Kamala won.
Oh, I can't even.
The best Christmas present we'll get all year.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you are a Republican basically a consultant, a strategist. Where can people find you? Do you have social media?
I do. They can find me at Casper Politics, and that's the main place to find me. And I'm really I'm so honored to have worked with you, Linda. It's been so fun listening to your radio shows, and thank you so much for everything that you do to make sure that we elect presidents like President Trump.
I know, but Lauren, you keep me sane. I mean, I felt like towards the end of that campaign, I felt like I kind of had to be dragged over the finish line. And, sometimes people ask me, well, what was it like when you saw on TV that they called Pennsylvania for Trump? Because I think you had already left. You had left the war room, and I was sitting there with Jody Felice and Tom Petrusik, and I think I was so exhausted. All I could think of was, well, I got to get some sleep because we still have to count all these ballots for Senator McCormick, because that race went on for, many more weeks after the election. So it's like a job that never ends.
It was a surreal moment. I'll never forget that night, Linda, knowing that President Trump had won, and driving home, talking to a friend, and just being like, wow, oh, wow.
Yeah, we
President Donald J. Trump.
We did it. Do you have any theories? Like, then we go into the next election and our voters don't show up to vote. Do you have any theories on where those voters go, or why they don't show up in the next election, the off-year election, which I think is just as important?
Linda, that's a great question. And there's a lot of consultants out there that have this theory and have that theory, and they want to trash Donald Trump. And the truth is just I think that we have fatigue. I think there's fatigue on both sides. I think people are having a hard time putting food on the table. They don't know who to blame. And, I think our politicians need to do a better job of showing how they're delivering for their constituents. I really do.
Yeah, well, I know you help Senator Mike Testa. You're on his team. He's in I don't know the district, but he's in southern New Jersey, and I've had him on, and you do a great job getting his message out.
Thanks. He's a really special senator. That's District LD District 1. So he represents the Shore, Cumberland County, a little sliver of Atlantic. And, we just like to tell our constituents, what he's up to and all the great things that are going on, and to try to work for everybody's cost of life to be smaller. I don't know about you, Linda. This Christmas has been, counting those pennies.
Yeah, no, it is absolutely undividedly tough for everyone. And I had someone on earlier, an economist, to talk about affordability, to talk about what government can do. And I mean, I not only represent these people, but I believe the message. Like, I want small government. I want a federal government that, a president who is going to give me a strong military, protect the border, appoint good people to positions, and maybe throw a good Easter egg roll, and then that's it, get out of my life. And that's really what I believe. And I think that if we continue to elect Republicans, I think that's what we'll get, and that's the message that we have to get out there.
Yeah, and I think that the Democrats in this country are just crazy, and I think that it's clown world. And I think Republicans are going to come home in the midterms. I hope they do. And our cost of living isn't different, and we gotta make sure our messaging is right on that.
Yeah, and so would you encourage listeners in the next election, or whenever they have that opportunity, to volunteer? Do you think it's a good experience for someone who's interested in our country?
Absolutely. I think volunteering in any capacity at all helps. And, we're always looking for really smart and young talent. So if you know of any, you know where to find me, Linda, at Casper Politics.
Right. Or people can also call their local party. If you see a candidate that you like, you can contact that campaign. Because I think of all the amazing volunteers we recruited, and we're talking in Pennsylvania, we got up to the thousands.
Absolutely.
And we needed every single one of them. And some of them, some people, my favorite volunteer is the one who comes in and says, all right, what can I do? And if sweeping, like Jody Felice says, if sweeping the floor is the most important thing to the campaign right now, like, that's what you have to do. And I think that people just have to understand that we we don't know what we're going to need you for, but you have to be ready, you have to be willing, and every single thing you do is going to help get your person elected.
And those people that bake us cookies, those people that, show up every day and stamp envelopes, aren't they the best? I hope that Santa gives them a little extra something in their stocking this Christmas.
Yes.
Because they deserve it.
Absolutely, because every single one of them, I mean, we just couldn't have done it without our team. Well, Lauren, I really hope that Santa is extra good to you. I'm sure he is packing up his sleigh right now and has it full of really good treats for you. Thank you so much for coming on, Lauren Casper from @CasperPolitics, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Linda, Merry Christmas, and Merry Christmas to all of you patriots out there. Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you, Lauren. And God bless America. Lauren is just the best, and I do say that if it wasn't for her, if it wasn't for our team, we never would have won Pennsylvania. It was such a huge effort. It was a team effort, and we just had the best people involved. And this is Linda Kerns on 1210 WPHT, and we will be right back.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I'm making a big announcement on January 5th. You don't want to miss it. 3 to 7 p.m. on Monday, January 5th. I don't know when I'll announce it, so you just better listen to the whole show. But all I can tell you is it's going to be big. So stay tuned, be safe, have fun, don't fight with your in-laws. It's just not worth it. Nothing good comes from that, all right? But I love you, the Zioli Army. You're the greatest. I'll talk to you January 5th.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Rich Zioli here with my friend Matt from Emmons Roofing and Siding. If you're like me, your house took a real beating this winter from all the snow, ice, and storms.
At Emmons Roofing and Siding, we're here to put it back together. We specialize in storm-resistant roofing and siding systems designed to last no matter what Mother Nature throws at it.
Well, Emmons is who I use and recommend, so call Emmons today at 856-556-3229 for a free roof inspection.
Or visit us at callemmons.com.
Callemmons.com. Emmons, protecting homes, one roof at a time.
Last month, my business cash flow got tight. Sales were slow, invoices were late, and payroll was coming fast. My business is everything, and people rely on me. I can't let them down. I applied online at lendseek.com and had business funding in 24 hours.
Business moves fast. Don't wait until it's too late. Whether it's lines of credit, term loans, working capital funding, or revenue-based financing, LendSeek is open for business. Apply now at LENDSEEK.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-352-9239. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-352-9239. 800-352-9239 or biglou.com.
You can now tune in to Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the iHeartRadio app.
Hope this one won't put you to sleep.
And it is Christmas time in Philadelphia. That's Elvis, and this is Linda Kerns on the Jimmy Fallon Show. Thank you so much for listening. I so much appreciate guest hosting for Jimmy Fallon. And on 1210 WPHT, a special thank you to Greg Stocker for giving me this opportunity. You know, I often get very angry at Greg. He calls lawyers bottom feeders. He makes a a horrible noise every time somebody mentions Elvis on the air, but he did give me this opportunity, so I figure I better give him a shout out and be nice to him. So that we're nearing the end of my first 3-hour session as a guest host. Justin, what do you think?
You know, you did fantastic. How do you think you did? Because the most you've done is 2 hours when you filled in for Stensland. How's that extra hour treating you?
Well, I think that I'm kind of wondering because this all started as I was a good soldier. I was Donald Trump's lawyer here in Pennsylvania. Linda, go out on the air. You need to get on as many stations as possible. You need to get the message out. And it's kind of just snowballed into here I am sitting here as a guest host. So I'm pretty grateful. I'm pretty appreciative.
It's crazy. Yeah, like I remember when we first started having you on in the election last year, and who would have thought that a little over a year later, you're guest hosting over Rich on Jimmy Fallon.
Oh yeah. Oh, poor Rich. Poor Rich with his new dog. He's probably taking him out right now.
Poor Rich. He had to go to New York again and be on Fox News and fill in for Jimmy Fallon. Aw.
Well, and here I am in Philadelphia filling in for Jimmy Fallon. So
live and local, baby.
I live and local. I love radio. I don't really like watching the TV shows that much. I have been on those shows. I've been on Fox News, and I feel like sometimes you can't get as into the topics on TV because they just constantly just talking about the punchline. They go from segment to segment very quickly. And the other thing is when you go on those TV shows, I remember I had maybe like a less than 10-minute segment on I think it was the Laura Ingraham show. I was in the hair and makeup chair for over an hour. And I thought, what are they doing to me? And I guess it's really necessary because of the lights and yeah, I guess, you have to look good and people are really critical but TV's a lot of work. So if that's what Rich Zeoli likes, more power to him.
So with this, you can just rock in your pajamas if you want.
Well,
you dressed up nice tonight.
You can't rock in your pajamas when you have the YouTube video on, which is usually on.
When you don't, or if you're a producer, you can just show up wearing whatever you want, and it's fine because nobody knows.
Well, I wanted to look nice for you, Justin.
Oh, you did a great job.
So this Powerball, how do I play it? I don't even know how to play it. Can you play it in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I think you just have to buy a lottery. It's a certain subsect of the lottery. I don't play the lottery. I don't buy scratchers. I don't do any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you hear about the lottery and you think, wow, what if I won the lottery? How would my life change? And I do think about that sometimes. One thing is I would always fly private because getting in line at the airport and going through all that, like enough. The waiting in line, them going through your stuff, and then you get to the gate, you're waiting in line again, you get on the airplane. There's all these people on an airplane who apparently don't know how it works and just stand in the middle of the aisle.
Delays.
Yeah. So I think if I won the Powerball, I would fly private. I think, too, I would probably have a driver. Wouldn't it be cool to have a driver to just he's sitting there just waiting for you?
Personally, I like driving. So I don't think I would have a driver, but I would get a very nice car.
You would? What kind of car would you get?
I like imports. I like old school JDM Japanese imports. So I think I would probably get like a late 90s R34 Skyline. Those things are hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's more than people's houses.
Well, I mean, if I won the lottery, I wouldn't have to worry about that. But it's the car that Paul Walker drove in, I think, Fast 1 or Fast 2.
Gotcha. Are they manual transmissions?
Yeah, they're manuals.
Well, I have a manual transmission in my car.
You.
I know. I've always driven cars with manual transmissions, and I'm a little worried because my car, it's a Honda HR-V. And when it came out in 2016, that's when I got it. So it's 10 years old now. And they only made the stick shift for the 1 year. They don't make the stick shift anymore. And you cannot really buy a stick shift car anymore.
Nah, it's mostly all automatic.
Yeah. And I will tell you, it does have some perks because a lot of times when I go to a restaurant with a valet or whatever, they don't know how to drive it. So they just leave it by the front door. So on that note, I'm going to say to everybody, very Merry Christmas. Thank you so much, Jimmy Fallon, for letting me sit in on your show. And Justin, you are awesome. And to everyone out there, I hope Santa's good for you, and just unwrap the gift that every day is, because you never know how many more you have. So very Merry Christmas. And this is Linda Kerns on 1210 WPHT.
Hey, this is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. I've been talking about myself for all these years. Now it's time for you to hear from one of our great clients.
Investor Schooling lives up to the promises. Larry's a great teacher, teaches about the whole new approach to thinking about money. I've taken to heart many of the things that he's taught me, and my financial life has improved.
Come to Investor Schooling, and you could be just like Charlie and change your financial life. Go to investorschooling.com. We will see you Thursday.
Great news from Norristown